Okay, we're ready. We're good. We're good, everybody. Alright, so we should be up, Rick.
Okay.
I'll check on the ye old laptop.
Switch this.
Everybody that's watching, we are going to be starting officially in just a moment.
It switched again.
Is it correct?
No, wait. Never mind. Why is it going to that? And it's saying you're live.
It's correct on mine.
YouTube's weird. On your home page, on mine it says it's got the new Pokemon DLC, and then it says live now, next 5 new Zelda games and Nintendo.
That's all good. It's good on mine. Yeah, I'll bump my headphones. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, okay, so everything's good. Everything's good. So everyone, as you can see, on the top left is my good friend RMFH Rick, as some of y'all may know him. The first year of E3 that we had, he was our roommate, our buddy, our protector from all the people that tried to rob us, tried to come and steal all of our Pokemon. He was our protector. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Rick, for some of those who may not know who you are.
Hey everyone, I'm RMFH, or Rick, and I make Zelda content. For those of you that don't know me, you guys can follow me over at on Twitter at RMFH Gaming, and then my YouTube channel is RMFH or RMFH Gaming. You can find me there. I live stream at least once a week. I do either Breath of the Wild or Pokemon, and I'm going to be making some new scripted content here pretty soon. Theories, guides, and countdowns, mostly Zelda related. So yeah, that's me.
What was one of the most recent videos that you're the most proud of?
The most recent video that I'm most proud of is honestly the recent theory that I did on the spirit of the hero. If you guys want to go check that out, and just head on over to my channel. It's the second video that is uploaded there right now. The first one being a Pokemon guide that I actually put a lot of work into. It just, I don't even want to talk about that, but let's go ahead.
All right.
Share this real quick.
And do you have any new projects that you're excited about?
I have a brand new top 10 that is coming out next week. So look forward to that. It's going to be Breath of the Wild related.
All right. I think, does anybody listening, before we officially start the video, is the audio good for everyone, or does anyone need to turn up your audio? Because from the bars, it looks like Rick needs to turn his up a little bit, which I tried. I don't know if it worked or not.
Do I need to turn mine up? I'll turn it up. I always have a fear of coming in way too loud on these things, so speaker.
All right, so you have the article up covering over some of the stuff, Rick?
Not right. Gain. How's that? Is that any better?
Oh, that is perfect. Yeah.
Is it too loud?
No. Speak again.
How is that? Is that any better?
Try again.
How is that? Is that any better?
Oh yeah, you're perfect. Yeah. All right. So everybody, this is amazing. I guess we can finally start now. I don't know how many people are watching, but it doesn't really matter because I know it's really early for some people out on the West Coast. Some people over in Europe that are watching. I see a few friends in the chat. Sorry about the false flag, the first live stream that went up. We had to stop it because of some issues, but we're ready to officially begin. So if Rick, if you can, because all of my screens are filled for the live stream, because I got you running on one and the Pokemon stream on the other, and monitoring on the third. So maybe I can look for it while we're discussing a little bit. But we're officially ready to begin. So are you ready, Rick?
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Hello everyone, welcome. I am Jesse, or 𝐓𝐻𝐼𝐺𝐬, and today we're going to be talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield with its new DLC, new non-DLC packs, sort of, that are coming. They're going to be they said they're going to be updating the game with some patches and new updates and costumes and stuff. Some of which are coming with the DLC, which is going to include 200 or possibly even more than 200 Pokemon. But there's going to be some new updates that are just updates in general for the game. So new items and stuff.
One today, actually.
Yeah, and then we have new content coming with the DLC. So there are 2 separate packs of DLC, but you can get the season pass, correct?
Yes.
So it's like a season pass expansion pack or whatever, similar to Breath of the Wild 2 or Breath of the Wild.
What they're doing there is you can't buy them separately. You have to buy them in. So it's literally an expansion pass, but you don't have the option to buy either of them separately as of now.
Right. And one is the Isle of
Armor releases by end of June 2020, and the Crown of Tundra, which is the second one, releases in the fall of 2020. So they haven't designated when that will be. I'm guessing most likely mid-fall.
All right. So I found, I'm going to pull my microphone just a little bit closer here for some people. I have an article from IGN that may have this a little bit more organized than we are, because if any of you guys watched our Breath of the Wild 2 stream from E3, typically for our podcasts on 𝐓𝐻𝐼𝐺𝐬 on the 𝐓𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 Games Cast, we get everything together, organized, we have it in Google Docs, everything is organized and laid out and planned and everything. Some of it is halfway scripted, and we go through all of it, and it's a great fun podcast. Sometimes we get off topic, which is what a lot of people come to the podcast for, because of the discussions that get off topic. But on that, we were just so excited for the DLC announcement. We just began talking and going over everything, and it was just completely unorganized, similar to this. But we actually have a bit of a organization here. So with Pokemon Sword and Shield Expansion Pass DLC announced, Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. So IGN says you can get a Galarian Slowpoke today. Pokemon Sword and Shield is getting a $29.99 or £26.99, I think, for the UK expansion pack. No Australian price available at the time of writing this year, featuring 2 new adventures, and it'll bring back more than 200 of past Pokemon. So that doesn't include the new Pokemon that are going to be added to it, or the new Pokemon that are going to be available for the first time. These are 200 of past generation Pokemon missing from the new Galarian Pokédex. And as 𝐷𝐼𝐺𝐬 stated before we started, we don't know if these 200 are included with the Pokemon that are already found inside the code. So there are already Pokemon in the game, like, that are literally there, that you can access by hacking, but legitimately playing the game, you cannot come across them or catch them by any means. But presumably, whenever the Pokemon, what's it called? The Pokepack, Pokemon Home. They used to have the Pokemon Bank or something like that.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Bank.
But presumably these are Pokemon that you would be able to trade from that, but you would not be able to actually obtain in the game, but their file and everything is there in the code waiting. So we don't know if that includes those Pokemon or if it'll be a mix of those Pokemon plus new Pokemon. And they say that there will be updates and patches that will be in line with these 2 DLC packs that are coming, that will be releasing as time goes on. So whether those will slowly add in new Pokemon or just updating the code to put the physical location there, that way once the DLC goes live, it'll just like snap of a finger be unlocked and you can go there without having to actually download all of the DLC. Because I don't know if a lot of people were there whenever Breath of the Wild 2's the Champions Ballad released. It was insane trying to actually get it to download, because they didn't actually say what time it would be available. They just said the day, or no, that they said it would be available after the show, but they didn't say when. I hope this is a bit more organized. But anyways, IGN continues. The Isle of Armor expansion will be available by the end of June, so that's after E3. So this will probably be playable at E3. So we will be doing that just as we played Pokemon Sword and Shield early and had a video covering that for the channel when we went to E3 this year. Hopefully 𝐼𝐴 might be coming along as well. While the Crown Tundra will arrive in fall, you can pre-purchase the pass today, which will earn you codes for Pikachu and Eevee uniforms to use in-game. So you can already see people running around the game in Pikachu and Eevee costumes. And I believe if you played Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee and you come across these people, they'll actually give you the Pokemon of the game that you had. So it won't be the one that you used from your Let's Go game, but it will be like a free Pikachu or a free Eevee that you can get. They continue, the new expansions include entire new areas accessible as soon as you reach the game's wild area. So you won't have to beat the game to get to this. Like the Breath of the Wild DLC, I think you had to beat the game or something like that before you could unlock certain aspects of it. This, as soon as you can reach the wild area, from what IGN says, it will be immediately available to play the DLC and go anywhere that you want. And will introduce brand new Pokemon with some exclusives depending on your version of the game. New Galarian regional forms and new legendaries both will come with their own Pokédex. So that's interesting. You get a new Pokédex for the new areas. New characters, new outfits, and include Pokemon dens with brand new max raid battles. Players without the expansion pass can be invited into these max raids by those who do. It also looks as though the blue and red starters will get Gigantamax forms, while the legendary birds Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres will get Galarian forms. Is this the first time a legendary Pokemon gets a regional variant?
Yes, I believe so. Maybe a mythical Pokemon has gotten a regional variant, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Cause I seen.
Wait. No, yeah, no.
Cause I seen them, and I was like, "Is this a shiny?" And then I was like, "No, that's not what their shiny looks like." And then I was like, "Is this completely new version? Like, is this their 3 legendary birds for this area, or is it like the Galarian version of these places?" But then it's like, is this Galar? Cause like the Crown Tundra and stuff, if they're supposed to be the size of these areas, how's that? Someone, if you're watching, let us know in the comments, and feel free to give a super chat to correct us. Or we have Morgan and some other people. Let us know if you are more informed. If anyone in the chat is more informed on this, send a message to us. Feel free to come on and join the chat as well. We would be happy to have someone a lot more informed with the Pokemon to hop on here.
Sure they did say in the direct that these are both like an extension of Galar. So
Yeah.
So these would be their Galarian forms. And
Yeah.
these would be the first time that we're ever getting legendary, and it makes sense that they would start with the 3 birds first.
Yeah, I wonder. So they've had like mega evolutions and stuff of legendaries, and this is the first Galar.
Yeah.
So with Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres, of course, Lugia is their what do they call it? Their legendary master, their trio master, or whatever it's called. So would this be like not necessarily confirmed, but almost confirmed that a Galarian version of Articuno, because not Articuno, Lugia, because Lugia is the one who's supposed to keep them in check. And we know there are multiple different versions of Lugia already, because in the anime, Ash had to help a baby Lugia get in touch or like get back to its mother. And then there was the Lugia in Pokemon the movie 2000, and I think there's another Lugia that pops up as well. So like everyone who thinks like, oh, there's only one version of each legendary Pokemon, in some cases that could be like Mewtwo, who was created, or Mew, who like there's only one left, whatever. That could be the case, but a lot of legendaries there actually are multiple, like Articuno, which we know had a baby in the anime, but whatever. So that there could this could be a hint, since like these 3 versions, it could be a hint that there's another version of the Galarian. And it had a lot of focus on legendary Pokemon. I wonder if there's a Galarian version of each of the legendary Pokemon they showed off. That would be really cool. But anyways, continuing this, do you have the same article up on your side?
Yeah.
If you would like to, you can read from where we left off to give your thoughts. It was at the Crown Tundra freezing over. It's under the image. No, I'm sorry. Start at...
It was the Isle of Armor.
Yeah, yeah, above the image. I'm getting so excited, guys, so I'm getting a bit off topic, but Rick is a lot more professional than I am, so...
I probably get tongue twisted, but here we go. Isle of Armor is a giant island full of environments not seen in Galar before, and includes dojos where players can learn to Gigantamax the final evolutions of their starter Pokemon. That's interesting. You'll also be able to learn entirely new moves and earn new items. One new Pokemon available on the Isle is the legendary Kubufu. Is that? Kubufu? I know they said it.
Kubufu, Kebufa. I don't know.
I'm terrible at pronouncing things. A fighting type that evolves into 𝐅𝐴𝐿, which can come in fighting, dark, or fighting water forms. It's not currently clear how those forms are chosen. The Crown Tundra is freezing, mountainous areas where players can explore the full depth of Pokemon dens, familiar from max raid battles. These dens will include encounters with legendary Pokemon from previous games in the series. The Tundra will introduce Clerics, a new legendary Pokemon who is a psychic and grass type. Players can also get a sneak peek at the expansion pass today by heading to the 𝐓𝐻𝐿 station and meeting a new trainer, Clara in Sword and Avery in Shield. Meeting these trainers marks the start of the expansion pass story and allows players to catch a Galarian's Slowpoke. So go get those today.
Yeah, so you can get that today. And I think they teased a new evolution for Slowpoke as well. Mm-hmm. It looked like a Slowbro or Slowking, but without the use of a Shelter. to evolve. So like his normal evolution. Do they already have one like that? To where he evolves without the help of a secondary Pokemon assisting?
This one is going to be through the use of an item. I don't think they have one. Wait. No, I think Slow King is used with a King's Rock.
Yeah, but that's already after Shelter snaps onto Slowbro, right?
Is it? No.
No.
I know they're two separate. They're two separate, I think.
So Slowbro does not evolve into Slowking? Because I thought it just switched from being on his tail to his head.
It might. I can't remember if it was. Oh no, it does. Wait.
Pokey people, give us a chat or super chat in the chat to let us know.
Please clarify that. Yeah, no, they're two separate. So
Yeah.
Slowpoke evolves into either Slowking or Slowbro.
And for those wondering, I'm looking on my phone, but I'm reading through your comments to try to answer some of the questions.
They're split up in the decks. Slowbro is number 80, and then Slowking's 199. That one makes sense because they're ones in the Johto. But yeah, so you trade a Slowpoke holding King's Rock. That's what I thought.
All right.
And Slowbro evolves at level 37, or Slowpoke evolves at level 37 to Slowbro.
All right.
So this one will be, from what they said in the direct, you'll be able to get an item once you're in the 𝐈𝐺𝐬, and you'll be able to evolve it. I don't know if it'll be through trading or what they'll do though.
All right. Continue on the.
In what will be welcome news for longtime fans, the new area will add more than 200 Pokemon from past games, the new areas, who controversially weren't included in the original Sword and Shield release, although there were bound to be new discussions about whether these were intentionally held back or added after fun uproar. Just a side note. Updates will allow players who don't buy the expansion pass to obtain those Pokemon through other means, such as Pokemon Home or trading. That is very important there. So if you don't buy the expansion pass and everything, you can actually get these Pokemon, the other 200, that will come in the two different separate updates, one in June and then one in fall. And you can get them either through Pokemon Home or through trading. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you don't actually have to spend the $30 to get these Pokemon. However, you're not going to be able to catch them in your game natively. You're going to have to either get them traded from home or through other means.
So when I first seen this, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Continue.
Once Home comes out, that's going to be super easy. But go ahead.
I was going to say that with Pokemon Sword and Shield, I thought each of these expansions, like one expansion was for Sword while the other expansion was for Shield. That was the idea that I got. I never posted that anywhere, but that's how the video made it seem at first. But now after this explanation, either game, you can get either expansion, if I'm correct. Right? Like, it's not dependent on which version of the game you have. You can still get either, or you can still get both expansions, even if you just have the one game.
Yeah, so when you buy the expansion pass, you're getting both Isle of Armor and the Crown of Tundra for whichever version that you buy it for.
Yeah.
So in order to get to it, like say if you have Sword and Shield, one very important thing is that you have to buy both expansions. So you're going to be spending a total of $60, unfortunately.
Yeah. And there will still be Pokemon that are exclusive. Like, there's new Pokemon that will be released with these updates and with the DLC. But these Pokemon will be dependent upon the version that we're seeing. Like, we're seeing the legendary versions of the Pokemon on my screen right now. So, like, Pokemon When you get the Isle of Armor or the Crown Tundra, you could get like Articuno in the Crown Tundra if you have Pokemon Sword. But maybe if you have Pokemon Shield and you go to that same area, instead of the Galarian Articuno, maybe it's the Galarian Zapdos, or an entirely different legendary ice-themed Pokemon. So there are still exclusive Pokemon depending on which version you get, but you will get all of the Pokemon if you get both versions, if that makes... Like, it's going to be the same as Pokemon Sword and Shield is now, but yeah. I just want to make it clear that just because you get the DLC for a game and you get both DLC packs, that doesn't mean that you'll be able to get every single Pokemon on it. You'll still have to buy the opposite version. So if you have Pokemon Sword, then you have to buy Shield, or have a friend who has Shield to trade you those exclusive Pokemon. But both versions can still get both DLC packs. It's just they're still going to be exclusive Pokemon. Is there anything else?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, is there anything else in the article?
No, just something about their review, about what they gave the game at the very end, and a little bit about their guides for IGN. Nothing important.
All right. So I guess we can go over since we're all caught up and we're all caught up in the chat. In the chat, let us know what your 5 favorite things are from this new Pokemon news. Go ahead and let us know. We'll read them out, give you a shout out for your participation. But Rick, starting with you, we will go. You can be 1. I'll be your number 2. You can be number 3. I'll be 4. You can be 5. So you can give 3 things. I'll give 2, since you're the guest, and we'll go over just our 5 favorite things from this, and then maybe we can go with 5 things that we would have liked to seen or hope are in it. So we can start with you on your first thing. So again, everyone who is new, just joining, welcome. I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse. Welcome to a side quest edition of the 𝐓𝐼𝐬𝐭𝐞𝐫 Gamescast. We had episode 100 not long ago, but there's some important Nintendo news with this Pokemon Nintendo Direct, or this Pokemon Direct. We have 𝐼𝐬𝐭𝐽 Gaming here, one of my best and longest YouTube friends. We're going to be talking about the 5 things that we loved the most from what was announced from this Nintendo Pokemon Direct, with these 2 DLC expansions and the further updates with like the Slowpoke and everything. So go ahead with your number 1, Rick. Let's not waste time. Let's just get right into this. What is your number 1 thing from this? And of course, in the chat, sorry, Rick, but in the chat again, let us know what your 5 favorite things are in this and participate with us. You can get a shout out, get your YouTube channel a shout out for participating along. So start us off with number 1, Rick.
Okay, well, number 1, I'm gonna have to go with the Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team announcement. That was out of the blue. I did not see that coming. That was one of my favorite things announced from that. We didn't really touch on it here, but so far. But yeah, that was one of my favorite things, and I was very surprised about that they even announced it in the Direct today. So from the Direct, that was one of my favorite things so far.
I'm actually going to be going and grabbing that demo a little bit later, and for those of you that don't know, there is a demo that they're releasing.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and do that on my Switch. You can grab your Wii U gamepad behind you. It might as well be a museum piece behind. Do we have the same one? Look at that.
Yeah, we have the same...
Twinsies. Twinsies. Yeah. So, my number 2, Before we get to number 2, do you have experience with that series in the past? The Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? I had the 3DS demo and the Wii U demo, but I never actually played fully through the game. So let us know about you.
Audio's coming in really weird.
I guess I can go ahead and do my number 2 since you're figuring that out. My favorite thing from this is all of the times you get a bunch of DLC stuff that's like, you can get this in 6 months or a year or 2 years, or in like Breath of the Wild's case, they're like, we're making 2 DLC pack. One's coming like 6 months from now or whatever, and the second pack is coming who knows when. Like they give an arbitrary date that's like, it's Nintendo, it's a big Zelda game. Is the DLC really going to come out when they say it's going to come out, or are they going to delay the DLC as they did the actual game? So you get that long wait. But what they did with Breath of the Wild was like, yeah, it is a long time until this DLC releases, but until that main story DLC releases, you get this first DLC, which is like the Trial of the Sword or whatever, and you get some new tunics and outfits and masks and stuff. But then for the people that don't even want to wait for that, you would still get like a hunt for certain masks and stuff, and then you'd get like the Nintendo Switch shirt and some other things from like, as soon as you buy the DLC, you don't have to wait for the main DLC packs to release. You get some cool, not necessarily freebies, but it's a thank you for purchasing it in advance. And it's similar with this, to where it's like, you can purchase the DLC now, but I think it's even for the people that don't purchase the DLC, you still get the Slowpoke? Or do you have to purchase the DLC to get the Slowpoke? Your audio's off. I can't hear you. So, at this point, let us know in the chat. But I just think it's great that it's like, you get something today. Like something special that you could not get in the game before, you can get right now without having to really purchase anything. So I'm trying to update mine right now so that I can get it. We have Rick over here. Still some audio problems, so this will be edited out probably of the other version. But we can go ahead and read the chat for this time. This will be a good time to get some of the chat stuff in. So we have 𝐓𝐻𝐿 saying, it's only a waste if you don't like it. It's not a waste to me. That's right. Like, no one's forcing you to buy the DLC. You're not missing out on anything. You already bought the game. They could have stopped there and moved on to the next game. But if you bought the game, and you're one of the people that buy, like, Ultra Sun and, or not Ultra, yeah, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, or Black and White, and then Black and White 2, if you're one of those people, then this is the type of thing to where, like, you don't have to spend full price on the game to get that. All you have to do is, if you already own the first game, you pay basically like half the price, or almost half the price that you would traditionally pay, and then you get the sequel to it, or what would be the third game, or the sequel. Yeah, you're back now. Rick's back. So Rick, I was just explaining, like, for the people that are the kind of people that would buy Black and White and then Black and White 2, or Sun and Moon and then Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, this is a good thing for those people, because instead of paying full price for 2 games, you're paying full price for one game, or maybe you can buy it used, and then you're paying almost half price to get the second game, which is something that you mentioned before. So I think that's a great thing, which I won't take it as number 3 for Rick's number 3, but that'll be like a bonus thing because we had to sit through that. Gibbs says that you do have to pay to get the Slowpoke. So that is a thing. That's like a bonus that you get, and there might be some other stuff in there too, like some other hidden goodies, surprises. So you get like you get the Slowpoke and other bonuses today as like a show of good faith or a thank you for buying the expansion pass. And they have the Pokemon Bank, which works with Pokemon Home, which works with the other systems, which is what we're seeing now. So, Rick, you can go ahead and continue with what your number 3 is. I gave my number 2 and a bonus while we were waiting. So, and turn your mic up a little bit or get it a little bit closer for people. I want to go check on stuff, but you can have a chat with the chat while I check some stuff.
I love this. So, guys, I've upgraded my stuff and I moved some things around with my mic setup. So, having a little bit of trouble here with the audio levels. I apologize. I'm trying to get this all set up properly. It should have had this done before, but my audio levels were good for my stream. I don't know why it's acting up here on Discord right now. So is that any better? Let me see. Gosh darn. Okay, so let's see if that's. I apologize. Voice and audio. I've got it maxed out here on my input levels. And my interface is maxed out too, so I don't know what the problem is. Sound settings. I hate Windows 10 sometimes. Oh. Device. Speakers. Yeah, everything's maxed out. So I guess hopefully that's a little bit better. So for my third pick on what I enjoyed the most during this direct was the announcement of the Gigantamax forms for the 3 starters. The Gigantamax Rillaboom, Gigantamax Cinderace, and Gigantamax Inteleon. Gigantamax Inteleon, hands down my favorite one out of the bunch. I might even be switching my starter bandwagon over to Grookey.
I'm back, dudes. Alright, what's going on? Gibbs! I think I messaged Gibbs to join us. He said no, that he didn't like us, so... No, I don't know. I messaged like 20 people because I was in a rush. And he was the first one to message back, so I was like, yes. Good old Rick. So it's my turn now? What did you say for yours? Give me a refresh so I don't say it.
Well, majority of that time was spent fixing my stinking audio.
Yeah.
And everything. I don't know why it's acting up right now. I'm even.
It's mad at you.
Interface. I've got it turned up so loud on my interface.
Yeah.
My Yeti doesn't want to cooperate with me via Discord right now. I don't know what it is, but my number 3 pick was the brand new reveal of the 3 Gigantamax forms for the starters.
Cool.
Inteleon still.
Mine. And this might be because this was like the first Pokemon movie that I went to see. I don't know if I seen the first Pokemon movie in theaters, but I went to see, and I hate when people do this and they're talking directly to their microphone and it's covering up their face, and it's like, what's even the point of you doing the video if your face is covering? Or they do the thing to where, like, let me see if I can get this. They do the thing where they have a Yeti.
It's pointed right at them, and it's omnidirectional.
So they have it like this, like they have their Yeti, and it's pointed directly at them, and they're talking, and it's like, that's not how it works. Like if you're gonna spend hundreds of dollars on like a microphone setup, like you would at least expect them to know how to use it. That's like buying a car and then like trying to start the car by moving the windshield wipers or something. What? Juggalo. I don't know about that. I mean, clowns are kind of cool. I liked it. My little brother liked it, which is weird. No joke. It was like one of the things that the original movie, when I was a kid, a TV series, I don't know what you want to call it. Like they released it as a movie, but it was like a 2-part television TV series where it was 2 episodes, but it's like, is it really a TV series if it's 2 episodes? Like, it's like if the Titanic was just broken in half, which they did for the VHS. But my little brother enjoyed it, and I'm like, how did you enjoy that? And then even like the new one, like he liked it, and I'm like, it terrified me for years when I was a kid. That gave me nightmares. But I guess today's kids are braver than I am. I don't know. Anyways, Pokemon. That's what we're talking about, right? This isn't an It podcast. No. So, I loved the Galarian versions of Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno, like I said. Did I say that for my first one? I don't think I did either. No, my first one was the fact that they released things that, like, the expansion passes are in the future, but then there's still stuff that you get today. What is a VHS? Well, my good friend, a VHS is... I put this up here just because we were doing this podcast. I got this from McDonald's as a Happy Meal. It is a holographic Lapras, which they said was a Galarian form that's starting now. Not a I don't know if it's a Galarian form or a Gigantamax. That would be like all of the rare Gigantamax Pokemon would be a lot easier to find now in the game. So like that's just a normal update you get for being a player of the game. Insane Clown Posse, they were wrestlers in like WCW and WWE, and then they like made some music and stuff, and I don't know, they like start fake feuds with people like Eminem and other people. That way, like, they can both make money off of the feuds, but realistically, they're like best friends in real life and stuff. It's weird. Anyways, who is it? Speaking of wrestling, Cody Rhodes, who is like the owner of AEW, the new wrestling promotion on TNT, he's a huge Zelda fan. I think he may or may not have a Zelda tattoo, and he has like the Triforce on his boots when he wrestles and stuff. But I've tried to get him on the podcast for an interview, and I've gotten kind of close to doing that, but not too far. Still working on it. But we do have some of the voice actors from Breath of the Wild returning. We've had one for a while, we just never booked a date. But that, some random news. But yeah, that's my thing. I'm ranting. I'm sorry, guys. I'm excited about this. I have other stuff I'm excited about with the podcasts. But that's my number 4 on the list. The return of the 3 legendaries, and then having all of the other legendary Pokemon in there as well. Like, they showed off Mewtwo and stuff. I don't know if they get their versions, but we do know that at least the 3 original legendaries do, which makes me wonder, what are they going to do with the next legendary? Like, who was it? It was those 3 legendaries, and then Mew and Mewtwo, and that was it.
What,
For the Gen 1.
Oh, yes.
But then Mew ended up being reclassified as like a mythical, which is like even rarer than a legendary. Yeah. But yeah, that would be mine. The fact that like they showed all of the legendaries coming back, and you had to go underground to fight them, which had a lot of comparisons to what people thought with Breath of the Wild, to where like there's going to be a lot of underground caves and stuff where you're going to be able to fight things. And then a lot of the artwork and stuff they shown off looked very similar to artwork with Breath of the Wild. So I wonder if Nintendo has, because I know a lot of people from 𝐓𝐻𝐻 and Tantalus have worked on Zelda games, and then with Breath of the Wild they had non-Nintendo related teams, like the team from not Team Ninja, the team that worked on Xenoblade, worked on Breath of the Wild. Like 100 people that worked on Xenoblade. They took like 100 people from their team. Maybe it was 80 or like 180 or something like that. But they took them to work on Breath of the Wild. And then that team that worked on Breath of the Wild started their own team. Like, there was an announcement a while back where that development team started their own Zelda project. Like, they are legitimately working on their own Zelda project, Zelda game now. That is not Breath of the Wild 2 or something. Like, it's their own thing. It could be a remake, a remaster, a port. Yeah. Like, they announced they're working on their own Zelda game. And they didn't say it was Breath of the Wild 2, so it could be a remake. Like, it could be the fabled Ocarina of Time HD or whatever. Or it could be just like another top-down 2D game for the Switch. Who knows? Like, it could be Link's Awakening 2. It could be anything. But the idea that I'm getting to, or the point being made about the Zelda stuff, is like, since they have so many different teams teaming up with Nintendo to work on Zelda that have absolutely nothing to do with Nintendo beyond them just working with them for that one thing. Like, Monolith Soft is making their own Zelda thing. They had 𝐓𝐻𝐻, they had all these other teams. A long time ago, Capcom made their own Zelda stuff. So with these concepts, like, we're seeing it right now. Like, this image of Calyrex, the psychic type grass Pokemon, has the Triforce around its neck. Like, and then in the background of that, it looks exactly like what was it? The frozen home from Twilight Princess.
Snow Peak.
Snow Peak Ruins. Yes. It looked like that in the background, and then the Pokemon literally had the Triforce going around its neck. Like, that was the whole point of talking about the Zelda stuff. Is like, I'm not saying there's a Pokemon Zelda crossover coming, as cool as that would be. Because they've been doing a lot of crossovers lately with like Hyrule Warriors and like Pokemon. It's a smartphone game with Pokemon, and then like the Connect 4 thing.
With Sonic.
Yeah.
Skyward Sword.
Yeah. They had the DLC. Like, you had to pay for that to get DLC, where you could have Skyward Sword level in Sonic Lost Worlds. And there's been all the comparisons with Zelda and Pokemon. Maybe they just got the same team to like cut the trailers or something.
I don't know why they didn't take advantage of the whole sword and shield motif and everything. They could have easily added something in there.
Yeah.
Like a costume or something, you know? That would have been nice.
Yeah, and it's odd seeing, like, everyone made jokes about gun, you know, like Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield, Pokemon Gun. The armor thing was actually something before the game released, like when they first announced it. The armored thing was something that we predicted on like day one. Was like, one of the things could be like Pokemon armor. We said armor, not armored. Because a few days before that, they announced, or they trademarked, armored Mewtwo and armored Charizard and stuff. So, not to spoil anything, but there could be like a new evolution type thing that they introduced, to where it's like armored blah 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 instead of Gigantamax or whatever. And yeah, because like that was the whole point of the armored Mewtwo and armored Charizard that they trademarked and stuff. And now they have, like, the new expansion is armored. So, but then it's like, you would think the other one would be like maybe something with the bow and arrow or whatever, but it's just Tundra. So maybe one has like more story focused, like one DLC is more story focused, the armored one, to where the Tundra one is more world like building, instead of working on the story and giving you more character development and story for the game. The other one's just more world building with Pokemon and stuff like that defined, and mysteries and stuff. So that's my idea. So I again, talking too long. Rick, he's supposed to be here to be like, shut up, you're ruining the podcast. No. I love Gibbs in the chat. Mewtwo, Armor, Digivolves, 2.
So
Metagarurumon.
from the direct was getting the announcement of co-op play.
Wait, really quick. I'm sorry. Rick, is this Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX? DX involves deluxe, as in deluxe version. So is this like a remake or a re-release of the original? Do you know? Did you play the original? Can you tell?
I played Red, but it was a long time ago.
Okay, so this probably is like the same one but remade for Switch, or a re-release in HD. Because DX, for those who don't know, is short for deluxe, and you can't have a deluxe version of something without having the actual DX. But anyways, continue, Rick, with your final Smash.
So yeah,
I heard you're a king at that.
enjoyed
The final Smash.
new co-op play. That's going to be added to Sword and Shield. I think that should have been included in the from the get-go with the games. But,
What is it?
It's just a new co-op play mode. We don't know exactly what it is. I think it has something to do with the raid dens.
Yeah, they can go underground and explore with you.
Yeah.
Have you done the co-op
I've done what
on the normal game? Have you done co-op where you can go in the wild area and explore?
I've done the co-op where you can see everybody online. But
Okay.
that's
There's
not,
like,
actual.
it doesn't matter if you're beside each other using remote play or whatever they call it, where like you're not on the internet, your switches just connect to each other. It does not matter if you're doing that or if you're online playing in the same house or if you're online across the world from each other. Yeah, so like local co-op, online local co-op, or online across the world co-op. They all have the same issue where there's like a 2-second delay between what you do and what happens on screen. Like I could start running in a circle on mine and then you would still see me standing there for like 2 seconds and then I would start running in circles. So it's not exactly what's going on, and I'm hoping with this update, because they keep mentioning online co-op a bunch of times, I hope it's something that they fix or patch, because this is something they could easily patch to where it is seamless and there's not the 2-second delay.
Do they classify that as online co-op or online multiplayer? Because you're online with a bunch of different people unless it's local. Because every time I've gone online, there's like...
Yeah, but like you can do it to where you can set a code
Oh, you can?
and then someone else, like Smash Brothers,
Oh, okay.
where you type in the code and then someone types in the code and joins.
So I'm hoping that this co-op mode is like with the controller, but I don't know what they're doing there.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would think would be co-op. Would be
Like, because they had it perfect in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
yeah, exactly. That's co-op to me. They may be using the term in a different way though. I would think multiplayer would be online and then co-op would be like in-house, but I don't know.
Yeah.
They're probably using it in the way that you're using it.
Yeah. But, like, it's seriously, I always think back, and I said this on a podcast a couple weeks ago. We did our podcast discussion review of Sword and Shield. And that was one of Daniel's complaints, was that he has the game, and he's playing with his son, and even though they're right next to each other, there's still like a 2-second delay between what they're actually doing. And it makes me think back to, and this is something I always bring up, Nintendo 3DS, when it first released 10 years ago, I guess, like 2010, because it was like before Skyward Sword released, and Skyward Sword released in 2011. Because I bought my 3DS like a few days after Ocarina of Time 3D released. It was like a month or two after the system launched. And what was it? Star Fox 64 3D. It was a 3DS remake or port of Star Fox 64. Had online multiplayer with not just voice chat, but like video chat, full-on video chat, to where using the camera on the 3DS system, you could see every single person you were playing with that allowed it.
Really?
There's a video above them, so like if you shot them down and killed them or whatever, like you could see their reaction and stuff. Like it was even in the trailers, it was part of the promotion of the game. Obviously the video was crappy because like it's a 240p screen with like a 480p camera. And then it's like being rendered while it's rendering out this game. And it's also trying to render like 8 other cameras or 16 other cameras or whatever. But it was there with the voice chat. Like, it didn't just have voice chat. On the Nintendo 3DS 10 years ago or longer had video chat on their multiplayer on a game that was playing in 3D, so it had to like render the game twice, basically. and like stack it on top of each other so one eye could see something different. But anyways, that's a rant. The point is, they had that long ago. They perfected it. The couch co-op multiplayer in Sword and Shield. Or not Sword and Shield, but Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. To where you can walk through the towns together, you can fight the battles together, you can go in the routes, or the routes, however you want to pronounce it, together. Do everything together, but it wasn't online. Sword and Shield has it online, but it's only in the wild area. Now they're expanding it. But will they fix it to where it's not a 2-second delay, it's perfect? Because once you go in battle, you no longer have that 2-second delay. It's instant. Maybe this is like a hardware problem because there are slowdowns already when you're playing Pokemon Sword and Shield. So those slowdowns also slow down the online functionality.
I could see it being an optimization issue.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm not no game developer by any means, but I do know a lot of people complain about Game Freak and their optimization in their games and stuff. So like for Sword and Shield, I've been hearing that the game just was really not optimized to the best of its abilities. Granted, they have quite a bit of a smaller window to work on stuff like that than other companies, and it's their first outing on the Switch. So
Yeah, my idea on that is they're making they made Sword and Shield. Okay, so like look back on the Nintendo 3DS. They had Pokemon. Sorry, they had Pokemon. Am I popping? No. Can you hear me good? Okay, they had Pokemon X and Y on the 3DS, and it ran great. And that was their first generation of Pokemon games on the 3DS. And then I think it was the first time they've ever done this, to where they changed the engine and the graphics and everything while still on the same system. And they went to Pokemon Sword and Shield. And it ran... Not Sword and Shield, sorry. Sun and Moon. And Sun and Moon ran similar to how Sword and Shield is running on the Switch. And my idea is that, like, while X and Y was optimized to run really good on the 3DS, Sun and Moon was made so that it could run on the 3DS, but it would have benefited from a more powerful hardware, which just so happened the new 3DS came out, which ran it really well. So I feel like they changed the graphical style because they wanted to push the new console, or the new version, to its limit. And the downside to that is it still ran on the normal version, but there were slowdowns and stuff in battle and everything. And that was a way to, it doesn't run that well on the 3DS, but you can go and trade it in and buy a new 3DS. So it was like Nintendo's way of...
like garbage even on the new 3DS, man.
Did it for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You double battle. Anytime you do a double battle or anything more than one Pokemon, the 3DS just lagged terribly.
Dang.
When it came to those later titles, not to say that Sun and Moon weren't outstandingly. They looked great.
Yeah.
They played great for what they were, but the console couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah. But to like this could be a long thing, but to make it as quick as possible, Sword and Shield, basically, it can't really be that optimized for the Nintendo Switch because it was made to push the 3DS and the new 3DS to its limits. And you can take that And you can put that game on the Switch and it'll run beautifully on the Switch without any tinkering or whatever, as long as you can get it to run on it. But then once you start optimizing it, so it's no longer running in like 240p, which is what the Switch ran at, and now it's running at 1080p, because it wasn't like that engine was not designed for the Switch. The optimization isn't going to be that great because it just wasn't designed for that system, because it's an expansion of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which itself was an expansion of Sun or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And they recently released what they said was an experimental game. Like, I think they literally called it that, which the first word was town. Do you remember that?
Yeah, Little Town Hero or something.
Yeah, like it was first called Town, and then they called it Little Town Hero or something like that. But that game runs a lot better on the Switch, and I think that was like a testing ground for them to get used to the new engine, and then they're going to be using that engine for their next game. Like, whatever the next game is going to be, while they're releasing all of this DLC and stuff, in the background, they have the actual next-gen Pokemon game that's going to come out, that's going to be like developed specifically for the Switch. But by that time, it may not even be for the Switch. It may be for like the Switch 2 or the Switch Pro or whatever they end up calling it. So
I'm sure by that time. Oh, if we don't get a remake.
oh yes, it's every legendary, by the way. They just went through it. It says Legends Return. It went generation by generation, showed off every single legendary Pokemon, and then showed off Galarian forms of more than Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos. I said Moltres. Yeah, there's Galarian versions of some other new ones, or they could have been just brand new ones in general. So that's interesting. But that's my 5-1. So let's talk about, we did that, and to end this, because we've been going for about an hour now, but to end this, what are 5 things that you hope come? We'll do this a little bit quicker, a little bit more organized. I have my phone here for everyone to see. We're going to time this. We're going to do 5 things. We're going to try to make this 15 minutes, so no longer than 3 minutes each, alright? Is that good for you? Do you got another 15 minutes? Okay, it's 12:08 for me right now, which means it's 9:08 for you. So we'll try to have this done before 12:30 or 9:30. So 15 minutes every 3 minutes. So, you ready? Do you want to do the thing? The introduction? Say like 5 things that we're all like, this is what we're hoping for, blah blah blah. I like bananas. Do you want me to do it? Alright. No. Hello everyone, I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse as all of you may know me. Here with us is 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐿 Gaming, who has a wonderful, amazing channel. A lot of videos similar to what I do. In fact, we have a lot of videos together, and we've been working together for a few years now. But today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct that recently happened. We have another video that recently went up talking about 5 things that we loved the most. We really went into like 10 or more things that we loved the most about what we've seen, what to expect from these new expansion packs for Pokemon Sword and Shield. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 things that we would love to see come. So things that weren't confirmed, but could be. Because they said that, like, expect more in future updates. They're not going to show off, like, whatever the best thing is, or, like, whatever their ace card. they're not going to show off everything and the most popular or what they like the most at first. They're going to save it for a bigger announcement, whether that's E3, which the first expansion pack comes out after E3, so they could save it for that. That way everyone gets hyped for the big DLC coming for after E3, because that happens at the end of June, and E3 begins in the early or middle of June. It ends at the middle of June, begins early June. So they could be saving it for their big Nintendo Direct at E3, or a Nintendo Direct shortly sometime between now and June. So they have a lot more to show off, probably a lot more impressive stuff, if that's a word to say. I don't know if that would be the right word. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the 5 things that we would want the most. So again, we're going to be going Rick first, me second, until we get to 5 things that we would like to see the most. So starting with you, Rick, what is the one of the things that you would love to see come to Pokemon Sword and Shield? We've played the games, we've seen what they have in the DLC so far. What is the one thing that you wish, that you want so badly to come, that you want them to announce?
One thing that was sorely missed for me, and this is a really minuscule, stupid feature that I want to be able to pop a wheelie on my.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So, with me, I would like purple Poke, but no, I'm joking. So you can continue.
The features of being able to like pop a wheelie and bunny hop on a bike were really cool. Features that I feel were missed out on in this game with the return of the Rotom bike, or just the bike in general.
Yeah.
But
Do you think it's because he's scared?
maybe.
Yeah, he's not a risk taker. We need a new Rotom.
But I could see that.
Zelda Fan 64 Pain Fat says you need to turn your mic up. I apologize.
Dude, I don't know how much more what I can do here. I don't know if it's.
Alright, I have it turned up. So you can try it.
If it's mine or.
I turned yours up. Try talking again.
Everything's turned up on my end to the max.
Yeah.
And I'm talking direct. I mean, I could put the microphone like this.
I turned you up some more on my end. So let us know in the chat. Is Rick good? I turned his volume up on my side. Speaking, what mic are you using? Is that the A50 A20 A50 whatever?
The A2020.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. So we're gonna cut this part out of the edited video, but we're just waiting for the chat. So the faster the chat lets us know if Rick's volume's good, the faster we can continue. Or I can just get on my phone and look. Since
Hold on.
guess who sent me an email while we're doing the podcast?
I can't see.
Oh shoot.
It's not focused.
Capcom PR for Monster Hunter World, a game I don't even have. Maybe they're sending it to me. That would be cool.
Yeah, it's so weird that my audio is not working for us, but it was just working in my live stream a minute ago. When I did it, and my audio levels were perfect for that. I haven't touched anything. Other than I did switch my mic over, but it's turned up all the way.
Guess who sent me an email while we're doing the podcast?
Can't see.
Oh shoot.
It's not focused.
Capcom PR. No, you are quiet.
Monster
Hunter World, a game
so weird. If I turn up my interface anymore, I'll clip.
Yeah,
So.
I have an idea. All right, so let me do this, guys. We're gonna do something for just a moment to where we'll make Pokemon full screen for just a moment, and then I'm going to turn you up on my end. You know how you can go to Discord and turn people up and their thing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that to
I think
you.
it may be a problem on your side.
All right,
to
talk
comms.
now.
Can everybody hear me? Is the volume any better on my
Yeah.
end?
So you're louder there. And then if I just keep talking, just talk.
What do you want to talk about, Jesse? We got to talk about something. Let's see. I'll just go ahead and start talking about my thing again, and I'll talk about it again, if not. Another thing that I really would love to see implemented here is I want to see what else they have to offer in terms of the outfits. Like, we got a little sneak peek of the new clothing, but I really want to see, like, in detail, because there's some cool stuff that they added in the main games.
I don't know what happened. All right, talk again.
Can you hear me? Or am I gone?
No, you're good. I turned you up in 2 different methods. So talk.
So yeah, like I was saying, I'd love to see some new outfits implemented, or see what they have to offer in terms of the new outfits. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, you're good now.
That's
You're just as loud or louder than I am. I don't know what happened. I had you plus 20 decibels on my side,
That's so weird.
and then it went down to like minus 10 for some reason on
I
my
wonder if-
desktop audio. And then I went to your actual Discord profile and turned your audio up, and then went back and seen that you were negative 10 decibels on this and turned you back up. So you're all good now. I don't know what the problem would have been.
That's so
But-
weird. Discord's funky, man.
Yeah.
I've always had problems with audio and stuff, like in terms of doing calls.
Yeah. All right. I wonder if there's like an automatic setting in Discord to where, like, if it reads that someone's clipping, it will try to set it so that they're not clipping.
It could be.
Like, I know Skype does that.
I have it set to the automatically determine input sensitivity, and I actually unclicked that earlier while we were on the call, and that's what made my audio to completely turn off.
Yeah.
And I even jumped out and jumped back in. I can't remember.
Interesting.
It just didn't work.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, let's get this going, dude.
For sure.
So what were we on? Number 1, number 2.
Mine, it's
You're number
you.
1 still. Me?
Yeah. I did well, I guess I could do the bike thing again if you want to go over that, since my audio was low.
I can fix that in post.
Okay, then move on.
Everyone could hear you. He sounds great. Everyone's saying you sound great now.
Cool.
And thank you, everyone. I know sometimes people get mad when they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, you try to do your own thing. It's hard work doing everything. But, no, I appreciate you guys letting us know, because this is something that feedback is important. And I'm not one of the people that hates whenever they get constructive criticism. But like, if you're one of the people that's just like, this theory's not right because Link is dead in Majora's Mask, so how can he be alive in Twilight Princess? Blah blah blah. No, that's the kind of stuff that, like, I won't even reply, because it's like not even worth my time. Like, I might laugh at you, but you'll never know. So it's one of those things. But with this, the thing that I wanted the most, we talked about it at length. I want synced 1-to-1 online gameplay. And I say 1-to-1 by, like, when you're beside someone and you move your stick, you instantly see the person on the screen move, and your person playing with you sees you move as well. Because as it is now, if you move, there's like a 1-2 second delay. And at first, I didn't know that, because I seen people running around online. Like, I would run around with them sometimes and follow them just to see where they're going. Like, there was a funny story. I'm getting off topic again, but with Aonuma or Miyamoto, he said that, like, after they designed the birds and the animals in Breath of the Wild, that I guess at first they designed them to where they would just keep going and running around forever and stop and eat and then go back, and maybe they had like a pattern of like where they went and stuff. But now it's like after they get so far away, they'll just disappear after they're running for like 10-15 seconds. But he said at one point in development, he would just get curious to where he would just like watch the birds and just like wonder like, oh, where are they flying to? And then like the squirrels running around, like, where are they going? Who knows? But it was kind of like that with me, because it's like this is a huge world for Pokemon. So like, where are these people going? Because like in my head, I'm thinking everyone's been playing further and more than I have, so I'm gonna follow them, hoping they go to a cool place. So that's what I did a couple of times. And when you're playing like that with your friend, even if you're beside them, there's like such a delay that it's like there's no point unless you're doing a max raid battle or whatever.
Yeah.
But the way that it is now, it's like it's cool to play online, but it was so much better with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, to where they were like right beside you. As soon as you moved, they moved. But that was like literally on the same console or whatever.
Yeah. Split screen co-op.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like a CPU limitation or like they have to use that CPU processing power for the actual game, and it's not that well optimized, as Rick mentioned earlier in the other video that you guys can go and watch, and they have to use the power, like, since it's doing so much to render the actual game, that the online experience is like a secondary resource management for it, because it's less important than the actual game running. Whereas if they released a Switch Pro or a Switch 2, then a benefit could be a one-to-one thing, because they could use that extra CPU power to get that. But as I mentioned, like Star Fox 64 3D, one of the very first games made for the 3DS, not even the new 3DS, the basic 3DS, when it first launched, when people weren't even sure of like how powerful it was or how capable it was or how best to optimize a game, they took in a Nintendo 64 game, remade it for the 3DS, which the 3DS is like almost as powerful as like a GameCube or a Wii, and not only were you allowed to play that game, making it look as good if not better than a GameCube game or a Wii game, and have it play online with like 8 or 16 other people. I forget what it was. It's probably 8 other people. And not only have voice chat, but you had video chat. And it worked perfectly. Like the video chat was like maybe like 5 frames a second. Like it wasn't 30 frames or 60 frames a second on the video chat, but it was still enough to where like you could see everyone's reaction and stuff, and it was a really cool experience. But with like the Nintendo Switch, even if it's like in docked mode to where it's pumping out as much power as it can, it's like it takes 2 seconds for it to like notice that your friend moved. Even if you type in a code to where like it's just you and that person in a shared universe that's closed off from everyone else. Like it's just you guys with no one else. It would be understandable if like when you typically play and you see like dozens of people running around and it's having to keep track of like the CPU has to know like, oh well, there's 5 people way over here and there's 2 people way over here and there's 3 people beside you, but those people are battling these Pokemon, and then there's 2 people on their bike running around the lake over here. That would make sense for there to be like a slowdown in the multiplayer. But when it's just you and one other person, like right now on the screen it's showing 2 people running towards a thing. If that's one of the things they fixed, then I'll be so happy. But if it's just like the way it was, what's even the point? Because it's just so annoying. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Mr. Rick?
I could see how it can be really jarring. I haven't actually played the game like that yet.
We'll do it later. Which version do you have?
I have both.
Cool.
But it's like Sword is the one that I play normally.
Sweet. Would you be willing to trade some Sword only Pokemon? Because I got some Shield only Pokemon. Like, isn't the Galarian Ponyta a Shield only thing?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Galarian Ponyta because that was the big meme of the day when it came out. And I didn't know that it was in Shield. But I got Shield because it had the ghost type trainer. And in my mind, I was like, well, if it has a ghost type trainer, it may have more ghost type Pokemon. And I really wanted a Haunter, which I get, like, I don't know if I want a Haunter or a Gengar because I like the look of Haunter a lot. Because it looks like a bunch of Zelda bosses, like Bongo Bongo and all of the others, like Zant's Hand and stuff. There's one in Wind Waker. I forgot its name.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it too, but I know what you're talking about.
Mario 64 even had a boss that was like a face and a hand. But I like it because it looks like a bunch of those, and plus, like, there's the episode in the original anime when it was like playing jokes on Ash and they became friends and stuff, and I'm like, why didn't he ever catch that Haunter? Like, that would have been perfect. Right. Anytime Team Rocket comes around, Haunter likes to play jokes. Have Haunter go play jokes on Team Rocket. They'll be so scared they'll never come back around. But anyways, I'm ranting again.
Would have been better than Wobbuffet.
Huh?
I said would have been better than Wobbuffet.
Yeah, for real. So go on with what you're talking about.
So for mine, I want them to freaking fix the shiny rates.
I have never encountered a single shiny. So it looks like the Galarian Slowpoke just has the yellow on his head and on his tail.
Yeah.
So continue. Sorry.
They came out, and the Pokemon Company came out and they released a thing breaking down the shiny rates and stuff like that. And we came to find out that there's like a 3% odd to get the shiny rate in the wild if you through encounters. So there's only a 3% chance that you'll have a 1 in 512 chance to encounter a shiny in the wild. It's complicated. But it is annoying that you only have a 3% chance, which doesn't make it any more appealing to go out and battle Pokemon to try to get these, like, the square shinies or the what people are dubbing ultra shinies, or have dubbed ultra shinies. That's not what they're officially called. But these square shinies aren't even, like, worth going out and catching because it's going to take you forever. I spent, like, I think I did like over 2,000 or 3,000 encounters on a Snom looking for it when I had the shiny charm.
You had to where it was like shiny hunting live streams. Am I correct in saying that?
Yep, and it was all for this stupid Snom, which just it killed it for me. And then I started doing the Masuda method. That's like the only viable method of getting a shiny if you're going for a 1 in 512 chance. Yeah, I'll explain it for anybody that doesn't know what the Masuda method is. The Masuda method is when you take a foreign Pokemon, that's like, say if you have a United States copy of Pokemon Sword, and you were sent a Japanese Ditto. You could take that Japanese Ditto and you could breed it with whatever Pokemon you want in your game, and you'll have a higher likelihood of getting a shiny Pokemon because you're breeding with a foreign Pokemon. When you add that to the shiny charm, which you get by completing the Pokedex, catching all 400 Pokemon.
Pokemon does have an update right now.
Yes. I'm hoping that does something. We'll see what happens.
Well, the Slowpoke, right? It
yes,
gives
the
you that
Slowpoke. I'm hoping there's some bug fixes too, though. But I don't know.
What if this is the one that automatically updates the issue for
Online.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. So yeah, the Masuda method, you can increase your odds by getting the shiny charm to 1 in every 512. So you'll have a 1 in 512 chance every time you hatch an egg. It's really boring that way.
I have not
I like the
hatched an
battling
egg.
method.
I came to a Pokemon thing, and I'm like, I don't know, like that. It was just something that never really got interested in me. Is there any particular reason that I should, other than the shiny thing, breed a Pokemon? Like, is there any benefit?
Breeding, you can do EV training, or no, IV training through that, and you can also change Pokemon's natures. You can I think the abilities are also somewhat passed down randomly. Same thing with there's a couple other battling like mechanics that you can do with breeding and stuff, but unless you're going into competitive, there's really no point in doing it.
Because a lot of people do it for the IVs and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Baby Pokemon too.
What baby Pokemon? Like to get a Pichu?
Yes, and
wait, is Pichu
like Munch?
I heard
Munchlax.
Pichu was not in Sword and
It's
Shield.
not in the game, but like Pokemon, like I think Munchlax is in the game.
But if I breed a Pikachu, it just
Might
goes
not
to
be
Pikachu?
Yes, certain Pokemon you have to give them like an incense for them to, or a specific item for them to be bred down into their baby
Incense?
form. Yeah.
To block out the smell of the
I have no clue.
stuff they're smoking at the Pokemon Center. They're supposed to be like taking care of the Pokemon, but they're just getting baked. Like, I guess. Is taking care of the Pokemon to level them up? Are they just like making them battle each other the whole time?
They don't do that in this one.
We gotta get we gotta get a theory
Just
on
in
this.
general.
Like at the
Just in general.
Pokemon places to because they level up when you get them back sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, do they make them battle like while you're gone? They just I don't know.
I think they could send them out on jobs. Who knows?
Yeah, they do that in this one too. Is that a new thing for this one only?
I think there was like something similar to that in Sun and Moon.
Do I have you on my Switch?
I think so. Let me see.
I'm trying to find my friend code so I can post it for people. If anyone wants to trade Pokemon.
Let's see. Oh, I got 2 friend requests.
Dude, at one time I had almost 100 friend requests. Because I would put it at the in the description of all of my videos, and then I stopped after a while. Now I only have 22 right now, because I went through and deleted a bunch. So
Yeah,
there's my friend code for people. I'll type it in the chat as well.
Yeah, I've got to have you on here.
Burger said no face cam today because Jesse started turning green too. I got a face cam on. Is my face cam not there? Oh, I forgot to turn it down. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh?
Yeah, see, Daniel, I had a face cam. Ow. I bought this filter thing, or it's like a
Shock mount?
yeah, but my head doesn't bump into it. My headphones do.
Oh.
So we're trying to
Yeah, I've
figure
got you
out.
on here.
The update is available. So let me type in my code, and then we can trade.
I wonder what
Shiny.
the update does. Like other than the Slowpoke, like I wonder if there's any update like patches or.
Yeah,
Fuck.
people are going to be dissecting it to see the Pokemon that are going to be added in, because they probably.
Do they give patch notes?
No, I mean people like are going to hack in and.
Oh, I'm sure they will. And mine it. I gotta exchange friend codes with y'all.
Now 2860-6640-113.
Tweet it for you, Morgan. Let me get mine too.
Daniel, do you want to join us for this? We just started.
Daniel, one of us. One of
so
us.
my first one ended. Your first one was a while ago. So it's your second one. What is the second thing that you want? What is number 3?
Number 3. Shoot.
Oh yeah, everyone, this is my friend code if you want to add me on the Nintendo Switch. I've been deleting a lot of friends, but if you're playing the same games I am, then I'll add you, because I've been getting a lot of weird people that make troll usernames, so I just delete those people. But like there's I'm gonna delete this person right now. I can't even show their name because it's technically so bad.
Show yourself to some new guy.
Here, I'll do this. I'll cover the screen and I'll show Rick of how bad it is.
Oh yeah, shit.
Alright, so they can't see it, but look at this. This is the people that added me as friends. See the Yoda?
Oh wow, dude.
And then
That's
the
not
other
cool,
one's
man.
like all at symbols and stuff.
Yeah,
So I imagine a bunch of those are the same people.
I'm sure. Daniel.
You may have to add him to the chat. Maybe I can do it on my laptop.
Oh. Daniel.
It may be Bergerson or Capt Bergerson.
Losers.
What?
What's going on, guys? Can you? Hi, guys.
Hello.
How's it going? I just finished watching the direct, so I'm caught up now.
Okay, we already talked about the direct in general.
Damn it.
Our top 5 favorite things from the direct, and this one, I guess we can just start over since you joined.
Oh,
We're going to time it 3 minutes each at the most. Okay?
Okay.
And that way we don't go on for a long time. We may actually do this on the actual podcast too. That way it doesn't go on for too long, and we don't
Sure.
get off topic too much. But for each thing, 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll just do 2 each. So 6. Things that we wish would come to the game. So things that
Okay.
may possibly be in the game. Because they announced a bunch of stuff and they said there's more to come soon.
Right.
It releases. Actually, I'm going to do the intro again. And while I do the intro, it'll be the perfect
I've
way for you
ruined
to catch up.
Everything. I've ruined everything.
No,
Am I
no,
even
no.
allowed in this video? I don't have a green hat.
No, you're good. It was his Christmas present
It's nice.
from
it's
his
good.
fiance. Did your
Nice.
wife get you a green hat?
Mm-mm.
Did she get you anything at all that was green?
Well, she gave me new Joy-Cons that are blue and yellow. And I'm pretty sure every first grader knows
Okay, good.
that blue and yellow
You can-
combined.
You're good to join. Okay. Hello everyone, I am Jesse, or 𝐴𝐻𝐿𝐿. Welcome to a side quest episode of the 𝐈𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 Gamescast. That's when we have some members of our official, the 𝐈𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 Gamescast, but we go a bit off topic, or we have a bonus episode or a side quest. Haha. And today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct and the new Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. The Isle of Armor was the first one coming up, and then we have the island
Crown Tundra.
the Crown Tundra. Yeah. And we have the Crown Tundra. So 2 DLC pieces. One is coming soon after June. No, sorry. Let me just do this again. The Isle of Tundra. I have to remember that. No, the Isle of Armor, the Crown of Tundra. The Tundra Crown.
I think it's just Crown Tundra. The Crowned Tundra. I can words. I don't know things. I think I can words.
Hold on, it's showing here.
Isle of Armor. Here, I'm pulling it up here.
The Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra.
Yeah.
So it is the Crowned Tundra.
Yes.
Okay. Hello everyone, I am Jesse, or 𝐴𝐻𝐿𝐿 as all of you may know me. Here with us is Captain Bergerson and RMFH Gaming to talk about the new Nintendo Direct. We have the Isle of Armor and the Crowned Tundra, plus a lot of new Pokemon. Over 200 new Pokemon coming to Pokemon Sword and Shield. For those who don't know, this is our podcast of sorts, a bonus episode of the 𝐈𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 Gamescast that we refer to these as the side quest episodes because they're not official episodes, but it's our way to discuss news for all of you and have you be a part of it. In the previous episodes, we've talked about our thoughts just going in general on the Nintendo Direct and everything that we loved or disliked about it, everything that we wanted about it, just how hyped we were in general. We've had a bit of time to calm down now. So we had our second video, which you can watch, that went up yesterday for those who are watching the recorded versions, talking about the top 5 things that we loved the most. The top 5 things that we loved the most about Pokemon Sword and Shield's DLC. And now we're going to be talking about the top 5 things that we wish would be coming. So things that may be coming that they didn't show off, that is a possibility. And then we have a few things that probably not very likely at all, but we would still love to come, whether it's something that could just be a tiny, small tweak or something really big, a massive difference, something that would completely change it to make it that much more amazing. So for all of you, we want you to comment below. Let us know what you would love to see come to the DLC. And this model of this expansion pack is very closely related to the way they did Breath of the Wild with the Champions Ballad and everything, because they had the first big pack of DLC, which came like 6 months later, and then they had the big DLC that came during the winter time. So I think that's what they're going to do this time with the Crown Tundra releasing in the fall. And then the first one, the first expansion pass, they're going to be releasing soon after E3, like the end of June. So I think the way they mentioned this is they talked about a lot of stuff that would be featured in it, but then they also mentioned that we would be getting a lot more news coming out between now and the official release date. So whether that is a Nintendo Direct or a Pokemon Direct between now and E3 to give us more information about what to expect from Pokemon, or they could just drop everything on us at E3, while Daniel and I, possibly Rick, are most certainly going to be there, just as we were last year, to play firsthand Pokemon Sword and Shield before a lot of people and give our opinions in our E3 review of it. We're going to be doing the same this year with the DLC that they have and all of these new Pokemon. The one they're showing now, Daniel, has Triforces around its neck. Did you see that? And there is
What?
the Snow Peak ruins in the background, or a house that looks like the Snow Peak ruins. It's really crazy. I want to talk about it. And they promoted a new co-op mode and a bunch of stuff. They really pushed the multiplayer. They really pushed the co-op in this. So starting it off with my first thing. Since I'm talking, I'm sorry guys, but it is the co-op. Daniel was the first one that mentioned it to me. The first thing that came to this game that was like the one big thing that they added that was never really in any of the past Zelda games was online, like a real online multiplayer thing. But there's a delay, whether you're playing online with someone across the world, playing online with someone in your house, or playing offline but still remote play, remote connected. What's it called, Daniel? Local co-op?
wireless.
Yeah. So not even on the internet. Local wireless, where your switches are just connected to each other, playing with each other.
Mhm.
Not online. It does not matter. Like, you could be right next to each other, local co-op. You could be in the same house, local co-op using internet, or you could be across the world using internet. No matter what, there's like that 1 to 2 second delay to where one person can move and then you will have to wait a second or two to see it on your screen.
I think it's even more than. I think it's like if it were 1 second delay, it wouldn't even be that bad. I think it's even longer. I think it's closer to 5 seconds delayed.
Wow.
It's
And
pretty bad. It's
That is bad.
I've brought it up a lot. Rick's heard it for about 30 minutes straight. Daniel's heard it a few different times on the podcast, and I think he's even mentioned it a couple of times himself, or at least thought about it late at night when he's sleeping. And he's
You're
like,
gonna bring up
"Damn
Star
it, why
Fox,
doesn't
aren't you?"
Jesse?" Yeah, and he's like, "Damn it, why doesn't Jesse shut up about Star Fox?" But Star Fox 64 3D, it's like, to make it quick, Star Fox 64 3D released almost 10 years ago, if not longer, on the original Nintendo 3DS. Not the new Nintendo 3DS, which was a lot more powerful comparatively, to because it wasn't twice as powerful, but it was a lot more powerful to where it was like 1.5 or like 1.25, whatever. The point is, like, it was enough to where it actually made a difference in a lot of games. Like Hyrule Warriors was unplayable on the original 3DS, but on the new 3DS, it was playable.
Right.
Like, it was a
For
game.
reference, this Star Fox 64 3D, which you're bringing up here on the OG 3DS, was July of 2011.
Yeah,
So it's not a new game by any stretch.
The point is, it was one of the first big Nintendo 3DS games that released. To where they didn't even know necessarily how to optimize the best for the 3DS or anything. And it had online video chat to where you could talk to your friends online using the 3DS, not a smartphone with your Nintendo Switch like you do now. Like, you need these to do it now, and they're still not video chat. The 3DS alone, running off of its very, 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 very weak and outdated. At the time, it was even very weak and outdated CPU because the Vita released alongside it, and the Vita was a lot more powerful. It like actually had almost HD games, where the 3DS was 240p, the same resolution as the Nintendo 64. 240p is not much. Like, the GameCube was 480p for comparison. Anyways, it ran the game in 3D, so it kind of like ran the game twice in parallel mode, so like each eye could see individual pixels. Long story, I said I would try to make it quick. I can't, because it just bothers me so much. My review on the top 10 best and worst of, I almost said Breath of the Wild, which is one of our most popular videos. We were talking about that a lot on our episode 100 of the Highland Gamescast. But the top 10 best and worst of Pokemon Sword and Shield that I made, I mentioned this, how it was a problem, because Daniel first mentioned it to me. And I was like, no, I see people running around in the field all the time. It's not that bad. And then I actually tried playing co-op with someone, and I was like, oh. Like, these are people that, like, I'm seeing them run around. Everything's fine. Yeah. But, like, where I'm seeing them run from is, like, where they were 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. And when that came up for me, was my son and I were trying to play together because we got both versions, and so we had our Switches, and we're sitting on the couch next to each other. So it's not like there was any. It's just the two Switches
beside you. Try to download the update right now.
What?
The update's out right now, so if you have your Switch beside you, try to download it, so you don't have to wait.
It's in the other room, but
okay. Just a reminder.
I'll get it.
I'm updating.
If the Switches can local wireless communicate each other and run games like Mario Kart and Smash and not have that kind of lag, there's no excuse for Pokemon to have that kind of lag, you know? It's just, yeah.
Even the Nintendo 3DS, you could, like, if one person had Mario Kart 7, you could play Mario Kart 7 with another person who did not have the game. They only had to download, like, 10% of the game, or like a quarter of the game file, and then they could play with you.
How big is this update? It's taking 6 minutes to download. That's quite a while.
That is way longer than any other Switch update.
Yeah.
Mine's
Oh jeez. Okay.
And I've got I've got pretty quick internet.
Yeah.
That's
So
weird.
anyways, my impossible thing, like, they could have literally just fixed it with the update. We'll see in like 10 seconds. They could fix it with the future update, since they're talking so much about the co-op multiplayer. But that is the thing that I would like them to fix. For my number one is make it instant 1-to-1, to where if I'm playing with Daniel and I'm moving my stick around and Daniel's just there beside me enjoying himself with his Switch, and he can see me moving around, and it's not happening on his screen, and he's got to wait 2 seconds before it happens, then there's a problem there. That started out a bit dirty, but I tried to bring it back around.
If Pokemon Go can have trainer battles on your smartphone that are not lagged, then why can't my Switch do it?
Shoot, even connected over Wi-Fi, it should be able to do it.
It should. If my wife and I can sit and do a battle in Pokemon Go, and my phone's not that new. I have an iPhone 6. I'm like behind.
Yeah,
but there's no lag. Why can't my Switch do it?
This was the Pokemon you hated the most?
Which one's that? Oh, was that Impidimp?
Impidimp.
Yeah, he's annoying. I don't know. I don't like him. But
We already got this video copyrighted.
I love Impidimp.
So what is your most hated, or not most hated thing? What is the thing that you would like the most to be introduced into the series with the DLC? Something that was either hinted at with the DLC, or like just a completely out there thing that you would just love for them to add in general. Aren't you supposed to be at work today?
But,
people at your work know that you do, like, they know you do the podcast.
yeah, I don't think they watch it.
Okay, because
no,
like, it's like, didn't he call in sick? Just pretend to like sneeze every few seconds.
Achoo. But
Pikachu.
you stole my answer for that question, though, Jesse. That's what I would have
so-
said was the online stuff, because it's just.
Well,
If you're just someone that's sitting down and just playing the game by yourself at all times, then it's no big deal. But if they're gonna tout the option being there, it should work.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, even Pokemon Let's Go had like a sort of co-op mode where you had the assist trainer come in. So, like, I'd rather obviously have like a proper co-op where I could bring my own party in, but I don't know.
Call
I
it
digress.
with the dusk ball.
Oh, good.
Nice.
What'd you get?
The impidimp thing that you hated.
Terrible. So-
Don't even let it go. Just
What's your answer, Rick?
don't even let it
I
go.
love
Just throw the
him.
Pokemon in the lake.
Just
Just
throw
throw
the whole
the
Pokeball in.
Yeah.
Pokemon cruelty over here. You guys are evil. Every Pokemon is equal, okay? Come on.
By the way,
No.
for the Zelda fans, Cadence of Hyrule also downloaded an update at the same time Pokemon did. So
Oh, really?
for Zelda fans, check that out as well.
Yeah.
That could just be for the DLC though.
I'm pretty sure none of us, between the three of us, none of our viewers are Zelda fans.
None of
Yeah,
them.
0. so don't worry about that. But Rick, speak. Don't let Jesse shoot you down.
Yeah. What was your number 2,
What's-
Daniel? You never said.
What?
Your number 2.
Oh, I was supposed to do 3? You only did 1, didn't you?
Yeah, but
I
you
thought we're
didn't do
just-
one. You said
Oh.
I picked yours, and then you never gave another.
Oh, sorry, Rick. You can't speak, I guess. I don't know, man.
No, because you just joined, so we're giving you your turn.
Like buddy Pokemon that you can ride.
Oh yeah,
Like ride Pokemon.
that was
Be
in
cool.
Pikachu and Eevee.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be
Yeah.
like a future DLC thing. They'll make you pay
I
for
want to fly on Charizard.
because it's the
That's
same
not much
engine.
to ask.
They run on the same engine.
I just want a Charizard I can fly on. Is that so much to ask?
Yeah, because
Right?
like the new Pokemon Master will be like that's my gimmick. Get your own.
That's my no, fair enough.
For me, my important one, I was talking about it a little bit earlier and I touched on it, but I want the Pokemon Company to kind of address the 3% thing with the shiny rates. I don't know if that was intentional or if it was not intentional. From what I've read, they said it was a quirk. To me, I don't know if they intended it for it to be that way, but the fact that you can only encounter when you go and do the battles and you battle 500 Pokemon consecutively, and you get the shiny charm. I would think the way they wanted it to work was that you have a 1 in 512 chance after you've battled 500 of the same Pokemon to get the shiny. But instead, you have a 3% chance to get that shiny rate when you encounter the
you have a
Pokemon.
3% chance to have a 1 in 512 chance?
Yes.
What the heck?
It makes no sense. That's stupid. Like, I don't understand why they would do that. So then everybody has now opted to do the Masuda method, which is extremely boring, which is just hatching eggs from a foreign Pokemon.
Did Jesse fall asleep?
So
No,
that's
killing
what
my
I want
Pokemon.
to see them.
Okay.
Definitely
My
address
battery
that.
is about to die, so I was saving my Pokemon
All right.
so they wouldn't die before my battery died. Because I'm gonna name that Pokemon I caught that you
Don't
hated,
name it after me.
Daniel.
Don't name it. No.
You named all your stuff after me, Jebby the horse.
This is true. My horse in Zelda. I named him after you. But okay, that 3% thing is whack. Okay, that makes sense why everybody's just hatching eggs all day.
Yeah, and I was wondering why I was having such a problem looking for my first shiny. I was at like 3,000 encounters. It was ridiculous with the shiny charm.
Oh my gosh. See, I don't
Makes
even
sense.
I don't go shiny hunting, so I never encountered this, but I see everyone's posts on like Twitter of them just hatching eggs all day.
Mm-hmm.
And someone like took an elastic and like elastic their 2 Joy-Cons
Freaking
so that
Joy-Con
guy would basically forcing Joy-Con drift. And so that they'd be just like riding their bike in circles and hatching eggs. Yeah. Pretty sure they just broke their Joy-Cons doing that.
I don't know what's playing, but it's not Pokemon.
You have to send Nintendo that link to the Twitter post when they send their Joy-Cons into them. Be like, hey, don't refund these guys.
Don't do it. They did this to themselves. Oh, it's terrible.
All right, is it my turn again?
Yeah, I'm just trying to process those numbers. 3% chance to get a 1
What
in.
was your thing, Daniel?
Ride Pokemon.
Oh, ride Pokemon?
Yeah. What's it gonna be, Jebby? Cool. All right. Good one.
Okay, so I kind of got 2, but one, a quick one. Voice
Okay.
acting,
Yeah.
but it's too late for that. Well, like, it's not too late, but my whole argument with that, which I went into in like the top 10 best and worst of
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon Sword and Shield, is like, and I know like they would probably have to repay them for the games
Mm-hmm.
as well as the anime. But a lot of games, it's like they have to go out of their way to hire voice actors and go through a lot of people, and it's a lot of time and callback and flying people around so they can get to a professional studio to record the
Mhm.
audio. And then, like, if the script or the story changes, they gotta record different audio lines, and it's a hassle. But it's like, all of the new Pokemon, which you mentioned, have like the 8-bit digital cries when they could have their actual anime Pokemon cries. Like Pikachu and Eevee have their Pika, and it's not like a
That's how every Pokemon sounds.
yeah, like
It's
it's
just
not a weird
too.
noise.
That's so
Um,
sad.
It's terrible.
And it's like that's the least they could have done, is given them their actual things.
Mm-hmm.
And someone could be like, well, like, there's hundreds, thousands of them, of sounds they can make. Because, like, each one probably has, like, a few different cries. So you could be like, there's, like,
Mhm.
thousands of different sound effects that they would have to make. And it's like, well, yeah. But, like, they already have to do that for the anime.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's some type of like stipulation where they can't technically use the audio from the anime because it's probably majority held by a different company
Well, that's
rather than just Game Freak or the Pokemon company. There's some type of stipulation where they can't use it or something.
Like, it feels so weird without having it. Like at least in the cutscenes,
Mhm.
it feels so janky.
Especially
just,
the
like, stadium.
beginning one, like
Yeah.
when they were barbecuing. That was so weird. You just hear the sizzling of the barbecue, and everybody's just kind of standing there.
It's so awkward, right? Like during like NPC dialogue, whatever, that you'll just meet en route or something. I don't care that there's no voice acting. Like they could do the Breath of the Wild approach and just have it in the big cutscenes. That would have been fine. But the one that always comes to mind is the Chairman Rose one at the very beginning of the game. And he's like in this big stadium, and there's like crowd sounds and all this stuff and really dramatic music, and he's just like it's like it's just so weird. I don't know. I can't do it. It just feels too janky. So they
Yeah.
could have. It doesn't even have to be that good. Just put some voice. It could be super campy, and that would be fine because it's Pokemon. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shoot, Detective Pikachu had voice
And
acting.
it's like they don't have to spend. They don't have to spend time
That's a good
looking
point.
for like dozens of voice actors, because they
Mhm.
already did that for the anime. And all of the
Mhm.
main characters that are in the game are going to be in the anime. Like Hop is probably going to be Ash's side companion, or like one of the main people in the game. Like that's how they do all the games and all the anime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like really weird, because it's like in like Breath of the Wild, it's like, yeah, they had to go out, find the right actors. It was a long process and everything, but it's like they did the same thing for the one stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why didn't they?
It's not like Pokemon is some small indie franchise that like
Yeah.
maybe they can't afford it. It's
Yeah.
Pokemon.
So it's
They
just
got
like,
the money. They do.
They got some money.
They do. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my thing, which is stolen from Daniel.
Yep.
So Daniel, what is your? I stole 2 of yours.
You did. I was gonna say the Pokemon sounds actually
Nice.
was my big thing.
Nice.
Like the voice acting is a big one too. But the Pokemon sounds, like, I know a lot of people, even people who like I've talked to, or friends or fans and stuff like that, disagree with me on it, but I feel like they need to update the sound
We
bites
may or
for
may not
Pokemon.
have someone who voiced a Pokemon character in the anime coming on. And
think
it
I
may
know.
or may not have been like the. Well, two.
Mhm.
But one wasn't necessary. I didn't even know they were in Pokemon. It just happened. They voiced Brock. But I talked to
Oh.
him because he did a voice for
I have to ask
𝐷𝐬𝐿𝐴
him, like,
and
Oh, really?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'll have to ask him, like, hey, what was it like saying all those,
Eyes
having to voice all those weird pervy lines that Brock is
with your eyes closed.
constantly spewing? Did you keep your eyes closed to get in character? Oh, poor Brock. But Brock's a hound dog.
Yeah.
He is just.
I bet he actually did end up with, like. Can I ask you something, Rick? Daniel
Yes.
wasn't able to help me. This is
fine.
serious.
What's up?
Like he just couldn't help me. Like he just doesn't know. I
I have no idea
don't
what.
understand. So like with my GameCube, see, like I
Oh.
have this
Not this again.
4x5 monitor. Well, what is it? The aspect
4x3?
4
Is it?
4x3, 4x5. What is it, Rick?
I'm
It'd
pretty sure
be
it's
4x3.
4x3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have this monitor, and it's perfect for like retro games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, like there's the widescreen monitor and stuff. But like you have this,
He's using a GameCube as a monitor stand.
and like you see, I have my controller, right?
Okay.
And it's USB.
Why? he's putting it in the memory card slot.
But
He's Jesse, no.
it won't,
Oh, Jesse, no.
like it plugs in. See, like
Yeah.
see, look,
Mm-mm.
now it's closed.
Try the back.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried the back yet?
Yeah, unplug the power source and try plugging that in there.
There's a port on the back, I swear.
It's just too dark.
Okay, I got this. This is why they
This
invented.
video has taken a wild turn.
Also,
This is Pokemon, guys.
Ilia's in the chat.
It's not even plugged in.
Yeah. It's not. Oh my god. It's because he's not using that GameCube for anything other than being a stand for his monitor.
I know.
And
I
it breaks my heart.
Well, I have these tools to work on it.
To work on plugging your Switch Pro controller into the GameCube?
Well, yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Usually people want to plug they're trying to like figure out how to plug their GameCube controllers
Do you know how stupid I am?
to other consoles. Usually they want to keep using their GameCube controller on the Switch.
This is how stupid I am, and this is the thing that I have to send to Ilya. I have
Oh,
a bunch
no.
of stuff I gotta send to you guys. But, up
Is
here,
it-
this
what
is
is it?
this is the light thing that I had to send to Ilya that they sent me. So you can turn it on. And then like on this side, it makes it dim or brighter. You can't really tell on this. But there's one,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one it is. So that turns it
Just-
more blue.
Breaking my heart today.
And then I guess it, like, you can't tell because I got a really bright light, but there's one that makes like a red light. And it's
Okay.
easier for your eyes. Do you know what eyes are?
No.
I have a
don't
couple
those.
of them.
I I think I have some, but they're not very good. So
What do you think of my... I just hit the monitor with the twisty thing.
Are you okay, Jesse?
I've been awake all night. I really... Do you see the start of my Daniel collection?
He's collecting me. He's making little figurines of me and...
Can you
putting
name
them
that
on the shelf.
Pokemon, Daniel?
That's Gordon. That's the name of the Pokemon.
No, like, it's a real Pokemon card.
Oh, I can't see it. It's too small. Well, now you just showed me the name of the Pokemon, but
I got it from McDonald's.
It's Lapras. You got a
The
Lapras
basic
card
Lapras.
from McDonald's. It's just Lapras, man.
Super basic.
It's that's just Lapras. See, and I want to ride on Lapras. I don't want to ride my bike on water. That makes no sense. I want to ride on Lapras.
Did you see? You guys are on my personal Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I posted a picture of like this and was like, "This is just the beginning."
Didn't you put it on Instagram too?
Yeah, but it like auto posted to Facebook. And
Gotcha.
like someone did a close-up screenshot of Link just hanging up there. Like,
I gotta find that.
and they're like, they're just like, "What did you do to Link?" Like, why?
Why? Free him.
They're like, "Why don't you just put him on one of the thumbtacks? Like, hold him up with the thumbtacks where he's doing the thing. Like, why are you hanging him with?" Yeah.
What did Link do?
Yeah. Also, hello, Geek Apprentice. You could have joined, but you said no because you're a loser. Daniel quit his job
I did not.
so he could do so he could do the Hylian Gamecast side quest podcast. Is that a good name for these side quests?
Yeah, that's sure. This is good.
Because that's what it is, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You just like
So you
take
good.
like
Rick left. He's had enough.
here's your normal mention of like here's your normal podcast. Like this is your mission,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just take like a right turn to do your side quest. But it's like the wrong turn.
I get. Oh no, it's the wrong turn. All you get out of this is a topaz.
Okay, so like the Isle of Armor and then the Crown Tundra. The Isle of Armor is something we talked about like armored evolutions.
Armored Mewtwo? Is it happening?
Because that's what we talked about.
Because they said, okay, so they said they're going to be able to catch a bunch of legendaries, and there's some legendaries that are going to have new forms. And they showed off Zapdos and Articuno and Moltres with those new forms. And so Rick just came back. Actually, I'm just going to start that sentence over so he knows what the hell I'm talking about. So they showed off with the Crown Tundra that you can catch a bunch of legendaries. Some of them have new forms, like they showed Zapdos and Articuno and Moltres.
I thought those were like brand new Pokemon.
And they were totally those guys though. But
Ilias
a while back there was not his short. A while back they had like patented armored Mewtwo and armored Charizard and stuff like that. So do you think that this would be potentially like some of the new forms that we're going to see legendaries with new forms like armored Mewtwo here, or what you think
I think
here?
those would. So I said like I think the armored place,
Mm-hmm.
since it goes along with sword, shield, armored,
Mm-hmm.
because you
That makes sense.
wear body armor when you
Mhm.
have a sword and shield if you're a knight.
Hmm.
So you also
Still waiting for Pokemon Gun, but
yeah. And then the other one, like the Tundra place,
mm-hmm.
is more of a place where you would like go to explore. So I think the
Right.
first DLC would be like story building.
Yeah.
and
Well, it's
stuff
funny
that would
'cause
go
it's,
along with the story, where the Crown Tundra would be more of a world building thing. So like the first DLC is story building,
Pokemon.
and the second
Gun.
one, yeah, I seen that too.
That's Pokemon Gun.
There actually is a Pokemon. No. There actually is a Pokemon that goes with the gun thing, but it could be an arrow where it has like part of its hand or something.
Oh.
It like spits a dart out,
Oh.
or like a bullet seed.
And if they showed the G-Max thing for Inteleon of him like with a friggin' sniper.
Oh yeah.
So on point.
It's Pokemon Gun.
I straight up like because of that I've switched my starter now.
Just gonna snipe him.
And they said like they didn't say there was going to be more gyms, but they said there was going to be more challenges. So I wonder if it's going to be like Battle Frontier or
maybe
like what was in. I keep wanting to say Sword and Shield because I said it a billion times. The master or the island.
Oh, Master Trials? What?
The island.
Are you talking about Sun and Moon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Kahunas.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
Bad. I didn't finish Sun and Moon.
Any Smash
believe
news? No, it was only Pokemon. Although we predict that there's going to be a new Pokemon trainer in the DLC. Because Pokemon Sword and Shield is so popular, they have to do something with Pokemon that's new in Pokemon Trainer. So I think they'll do one where it's...
For Smash, you mean?
Yeah.
Like a new Pokemon? Yeah.
A new Pokemon Trainer for Smash to where it's the new Pokemon.
Make Rillaboom Echo Fighter of DK.
Or they'll add in either a new Pokemon Trainer or just a new Pokemon. Like how they have the Pokemon Trainer, but then they also have Mewtwo and Pikachu and the rest of them. I think they'll either add in a new actual Pokemon, like this one right here they're showing if you're watching the stream. Single Strike, Fighting type, Dark type, Rapid Strike style, Fighting type, Water type.
Right.
It doesn't say his name though, but he's like they make a big deal out of him, and he's the trademark Pokemon for the Isle of Armor.
Urshifu or whatever.
But he's the one that they base the symbol off of. Anyways, let's get back to our conversation, because this was the last piece that we were going to end, and we've been talking for like 2 hours. 2 hours 17 minutes.
About a 20-minute direct.
So, yeah, Rick and I did like a 6-hour thing of a 5-minute video once, so it's all good.
Well,
that was
that
was long.
Yeah, it was a lot of editing for me.
The Cubfu is the guy, and then he evolves into Urshifu. That's what it is.
But I think he could be a Smash Bros thing.
He could be a cool Smash fighter, yeah.
But because he fits the whole fighting thing is the idea, and then he's water and fire type, so like he could have different palette swaps or whatever. Anyways, whose turn was it after me?
I don't know, man.
Let's go with Rick.
I'll go.
Yeah, Rick, go.
Mine, it's my last one's very minuscule, but I saw that they had a couple new updates to the Rotom bike. I want to see them bring Bunny Hop, bring the Bunny Hop and the wheelie back, and I think they could do this very easily. Games? Yes. What was it? Were they in? Was it Ruby and Sapphire?
This Rotom won't let you. He's too scared.
That's what I said.
If you have a normal bike, then it's fine. But Rotom's like, nah.
But I could see him doing that with like these two new areas. So like in the Crown Tundra, they could have like areas where it's really hard for you to bike up. So you would have to use the wheelie, and then in the
acro bike.
Yeah. The other one, you could do the bunny hop with trying to get across to certain areas or something. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
The acro bike is a bike in Hoenn. It is faster than the running shoes given to the player by his or her mother. Okay, so it didn't say much about it, but it's in Hoenn, which is 3rd region. 3rd, Pokemon 3, Emerald. That's with the dragon.
Yep. Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
Yeah. So that was in the 3rd generation, and they didn't put it in this one. Maybe that'll be in one of the updates they talked about. Hopefully.
Maybe.
So yeah, hopefully you're right, Rick. You got some cool ideas.
Rick is the man with the ideas.
Also, Daniel, did you see they're adding every single legendary Pokemon to the game?
Didn't we just? Yeah, I just was talking about that. Weren't we? Because I brought up Zapdos and oh no, Jesse, come back, Jesse. I broke his heart. I broke his heart. I'm sorry. What have I done? Chippy.
You're so mean.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry, baby.
You could have joined Ilya, but you didn't. No. Finish what you're saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm kind of hyper. I
I
haven't slept, so I'm like. Imagine like I wasn't sleeping. I was editing a video that was supposed to go up, and I completely forgot the Pokemon Direct happened, and I watched it, and then I got super hyped. And now it's like I'm in the middle of being hyped and wanting to do the video that we're doing right now, but it's like I haven't slept, so I'm also like, But finish what you were saying, sir, dude.
What was I saying?
Your thing about what Rick said.
Oh,
I think he was done.
Oh, you were doing your thing.
What?
You have to end the video.
I do.
What was your final thing?
Oh, see, I don't know, because I mean, that's hard. I'm having a hard time coming up with things that we didn't already talk about, to be honest. I really wanted like more co-op stuff, but it seems like they put a lot more focus into it already. So hopefully the legs and stuff will be fixed, but because they're gonna have new modes supposedly, right? I don't know. I think a way, and this seems like a weird thing, but there's supposed to be a way to trade. They talked about it near kind of in the end, very much in passing. I want to know more details about it really before nitpicking it. There's supposed to be a way to trade between like Pokemon Bank and Let's Go and Pokemon Home, and then the Sword and Shield and stuff like that. But I don't think there was any way to bring Pokemon from other games into Sword and Shield until this update. But it would be cool to implement that in some way, even if it's like Pokemon Go had like the Let's Go stuff, which was a little different. But I don't know, something. This seems like it kind of implement it, but.
Speaking of that, I'd love to see what the pricing is on Home. I'm sure it'll be the same as Bank, but who knows? They may up the price.
Yeah. But I feel like this might be like a step in that direction, but I need to look into it more, I guess, before really nitpicking it. But I don't know, it'd be cool to be able to bring some Pokemon from other games and trade them into Sword and Shield in a more... And having to go, I think, from Pokemon Let's Go into... Like, from what they said, maybe I misunderstood it. It seems like you would have to trade from Pokemon Let's Go into Pokemon Home and then into Sword and Shield. And that seems so janky. Like, because you already have the Let's Go games on your Switch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It will probably be that way too, because that's how I think it was for all the 3DS games at Bank, which sucked. You'd have to transfer your Pokemon like from Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Omega Ruby to Sun and Moon. I had to throw them all on Bank, and then go into Sun and Moon and transfer them to there. It was a process instead of just being able to transfer from one game to the other. You know.
Yeah. I think it just would simplify things a lot more.
It would.
Or maybe, at least on a user end, maybe it would actually complicate things more on the programming end or on the dev side of things, but definitely from a user end, it would simplify things just to be able to put a game to game and not have to go through home. I don't know, but that's just my thought. I feel like I'm nitpicking at this point, but
No, it's all good.
Mhm.
Like I think some of us nitpicked a little bit, but I think we all had
Mhm.
like some serious concerns that need to be looked like. None of it was game breaking stuff that we talked about that
Right.
needed to be changed. It was just stuff that like Nintendo always likes to bring up the quality of life thing, whether it's talking about a game or whatever. Like their whole program of like quality of life
1 second.
merchandise or whatever. Like they
Yeah.
had the vitality sensor.
The canceled vitality sensor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just things like that. Oh, also really quick, if we pause it here, the exclusive Pokemon
hmm
for each of the seasons. I don't see their name here. Do they say their name? One is the
let's see.
Zelda Triforce one, and the other one is the
Oh yeah, they did have.
he has the Goron Ruby on his stomach.
I'll just see. I know the one you're. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was intentional or.
But it looks like the Goron Ruby. Do you see that? It's at the very, very end of the video.
Yeah, it does. It does look like it. And the crown one looks like it has like on its beads the little triforces.
I got a
You're
vet
good.
issue with my dog.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Oh,
We're
go.
talking about how, so this video ended. Do you guys want to make another, like, literally a 2 to 5 minute video talking about how this looks like Zelda influences?
Maybe. I feel like it's kind of probably a coincidence, if anything, though.
Yeah, but it would still
But-
be a cool video for like a quick 5 minute video for someone who watched it but didn't see the connection or realize it.
Sure, man. It's up to you.
Would you want to do it, Rick?
Yeah.
It's
We
just
can do
like
that.
2 more minutes talking about it. Okay, go to 20 minutes 31 seconds in the video.
Will the video open
The
for me?
Nintendo Direct video.
Yeah,
Okay.
I downloaded it because of reasons. So you said 20 minutes and
31
many-
second.
31, so like right at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And do you know a name for these Pokemon?
Yeah, it was Urshifu and I'm trying to find what the other one was called.
Kubafu. Isn't
But
it?
the green one that has
Clayrex.
is it okay.
Colorex or whatever.
Calyrex. I'm gonna just type it in the chat here. I don't know how to Calyrex. Calyrex. Did they say it?
A noble leader. What, this Pokemon ruled all
Calyrex.
of Galar in ancient times, though it appears delicate and slight. It's
Maybe it has like
Wow.
a very powerful evolution.
said,
Calyrex, yeah, is what the voiceover guy says in the video.
dude, it could totally be like a representation of
Calyrex.
I mean, I guess you could see it that way. It supposedly can see every past, present, and future event. That's weird.
Oh, so the
Wow.
Triforce could represent Hylia, who's the goddess, of time. And then the Goron Ruby on the guy who's like the big, fierce, strong body.
Fighting type guy.
Yeah. How do you?
But he's not rock
Can you
type.
spell the type again? Or spell the Pokemon name, please.
Oh, for which one? Calyrex?
Yeah, both. Cal.
Okay. CALYREX. And the other one is Urshifu, which is URSHIFU.
Oh,
It's even listed as a king Pokemon.
Hmm.
alright, I got it here. And the other one is
Urshifu? Or do you mean Cubfu?
how do you spell
Cubfu evolves into Urshifu.
Urshifu? How do you spell Urshifu?
URSHIFU.
Their Gigantamax forms look like freaking birds. Like luchadors or something, almost.
Loft wings.
They've got beaks. How does a bear turn into a bird?
Does it? I didn't see.
It's Gigantamax form, or yeah, it's Gigantamax form. Looks funky. It's not a bird, but it just kind of looks like they have beaks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see. It's just like the way they did the mouth. It looks beaky.
Yeah, and then their knees,
Their
it
knees.
almost looks like feathers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, actually. It's a really weird render.
Alright.
It's,
I got it.
it's-
I'll send these to you guys.
all right.
It's just like the Pokemon wiki or whatever. And then I'll do an intro and talk about it, and then you guys can, if you have anything else that you would like to state or to join in on the conversation, please do.
Sure. Okay, I see
Okay.
them.
So,
Hmm.
sorry about the sound. This is my mouse.
Yeah, you're good.
Alright. Do you like 𝐷𝐼𝐴's logo there?
It's good.
He made it for the Game Awards.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. I've been trying to
like
find
it.
someone that I could, like, I don't want to pay more than like $40 or $50 because I'm kind of like, I'm waiting on money to come in. And then, like, it wouldn't really be a problem. But for now, like, I want a new logo because, like, I want to do, like, a new push for the 𝐵𝐸𝐺𝐵 thing
Mm-hmm.
and the 𝐈𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 Games cast. But anyways, let's get started with this. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we gotta wait on Rick. We only got a couple minutes left. And then we'll... Because I just want to talk about how, like, the similarities are here. Because it's funny, too, because I think this... How it's two expansion packs separated by time. I think that's also inspired by the way they did Breath of the Wild.
Maybe. I mean, it seemed like the first one was farther into development from what they showed. Like, they showed mostly concept art of the second one,
Yeah.
and not as much game footage, so. But yeah.
Alright. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's also interesting how Sword's blue, Shield is red, Armor is yellow, and then Tundra is like green-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like Tundra should have been blue, but since it was already used,
It was taken.
yeah. Maybe it's like a teal, like
They're
a
like-
blue-green. Alright, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you?
Almost. I don't...
Almost. Okay.
Alright. I would like for Daniel to do this, but it's not scripted, so he doesn't know what I would want him to say.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Game Over Jesse. No, that's not it. All right. You know how we do the Highland Games cast now, Daniel, where you introduce yourself after I say, "Hi, I'm Game Over Jesse," and then Daniel say, "Hi, I'm Capt Bergerson," or Daniel, whatever, from the Highland Games cast, and then Rick say, "Yeah, I'm Rick from 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫." Okay?
Okay, cool.
That way I don't introduce you. You guys would introduce yourself.
Sure.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Game Over Jesse. Here with me is...
I'm Daniel. You may know me as Capt Bergerson.
And I am Rick, otherwise known as 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐿.
And today we're going to be discussing... That'll be edited out, sorry. And today we will be discussing the Nintendo Direct, or Pokemon Direct, rather, that had some very peculiar thing with the main Pokemon that are featured for the artwork on the Isle of Armor and the Crown of Tundra. Because there are a lot of Zelda influence going on here. Obviously, on the Crown of Tundra, we have the Pokemon known as Calyrex. Don't know how to pronounce the name just yet, but there is an upside down Triforce going all around the neck, which gives a lot of representation for obviously the Triforce and Hylia made from the Triforce, because there's a lot more going on with time manipulation or whatever with this Pokemon. And then if we look at the other Pokemon, Urshifu? I don't know how to pronounce that either. I'm sorry, guys. But on its chest, or a little bit below its chest, this big, masculine, strong Pokemon has what looks like the outline of the Goron Ruby, which is very interesting. And in the middle of this video, where we see the Crown Tundra Pokemon for the first time, or one of the first times, we see in the background what looks like or resembles Snow Peak Mountains, the ice dungeon from Twilight Princess. Now, let's go a little bit more into these Pokemon, starting with Calyrex. Do you have the page open on your screen, Daniel?
Yeah.
Right.
I've got Calyrex.
You were the one that mentioned the time stuff with Calyrex earlier? Or was that Rick?
I thought that was you.
No, I did it during the intro.
Okay.
But then was it you, Rick, that mentioned the time stuff?
Yeah, it was me.
All right.
I was reading the
Right.
description.
All right, well, go ahead, Rick, and you read it, since you were the one that did it. And then Daniel can read some of the info from the next one.
Okay. So this is on the official Pokemon Sword and Shield website. Down below the Pokemon's picture, it reads, "A noble leader. This Pokemon ruled all of Galar in ancient times. Though it appears delicate and slight, its every move is filled with grace and dignity. It also has an extremely high intelligence and is said to see every past, present, and future event," which kind of aligns with the goddess of time, who is thought to be Hylia.
In The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, Fi, or Fi, however you may pronounce her name, she tells you that Hylia is sending you messages from the edge of time, whether that's like the beginning edge of time, like the edge before it existed, or the end of time to where it is about to cease to exist, whichever point of time it is. She is sending you messages from that point. And it's also mentioned that, like, the goddess of time is mentioned several times. I think the first time's in Majora's Mask when Princess Zelda is sending Link off on his journey. She says, I'll be praying for the goddess of time to watch over you. And then in Majora's Mask, there's a lot of mention about the goddess of time. But she first mentions that in the Temple of Time. And then in the Temple of Time, you play the Song of Time to open the Gate of Time. And it's really interesting because all of this stuff is like mentioned, like time. The Gate of Time, the Song of Time, the Ocarina of Time, the Temple of Time, all of this. And then in Skyward Sword, you find out that the Temple of Time used to be called the Temple of Hylia, which at this point in time, instead of the Door of Time, holds the Gate of Time. So again, you have all of this time stuff where and it's all like inside or related to the goddess of time. And the Temple of Hylia ends up becoming the Temple of Time. So everything kind of points towards goddess being, or Hylia being the goddess of time, since all of these clues pointing towards her, but then she's also sitting at the edge of time, sending you message from throughout time. So like, whether she's at the beginning of time, before its existence, or at the end of time, when time is about to cease to exist, whichever point she is at, she is sending you a message from the edge of time, whatever that may be or be interpreted as. And so with everything and all of Phi's hints, it's pointed towards goddess, or Hylia being the goddess of time. And then you also have her being represented by the Triforce, because all three goddesses came together to create the Triforce. And all three goddesses came together to create Hylia. That we know of, this is the only two things that all three goddesses came together to create, because each one is responsible for different things. Like, one created the world and Hyrule, one created the law, one created the land and everything and all of that. But together, they are only known to have come together to create two things, which is the Triforce and Hylia, who is the representation or the guard or whatever of the Triforce, and who Hyrule and Lake Hylia and all of these places were named after, and she's the one that everyone worships and stuff. And with this Pokemon having all of these references and officially being spoken about having these powers or having some sort of representation with time, and having this Triforce, like several different Triforces going all the way around her neck, almost like her wearing a necklace. And again, the Triforce being a representation of Hylia. But in this case, it's upside down, matching the one on Demise and the one from Lowrule as well.
Kinda.
And even
like there's one in the middle.
There's one, like, there's an upside down Triforce, but then in the middle part of that, it's an upright Triforce as well. So it's like a little Triforce within the Triforce, within the upside down one. If you look more
the middle
closely at it.
Triforce.
Yeah, so there's the blue one that's upside down.
Triforce, and then the white silver one inside it is a correct Triforce.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's just it's very interesting. And the green teal color is also sort of the color of Phi, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Phi's like blue and
bluish purple, but she does have that teal color as well.
Does she?
If there was only some way that we could check, some magical
We can't.
Moogle, Google, Dougal, Sugal, Toogle,
Mogul.
Let's check. 𝐼. I know she's purple, but there's like the blue color as well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she does have that on her legs. Yeah.
Well, the image that I'm looking at is like one side purple, one side blue.
Yeah, but not.
From the
There's no.
water.
It's not quite tealy. It's a very
Yeah.
watery blue.
All right. Well, my colors were off, but like there's still like the whole connection of this Pokemon having all of this time stuff, which before was only Celebi, and then one of the 4th generation Pokemon, because one like Dialga or something.
Right.
There was one that controlled gravity, one that controlled time and stuff. But it's just very interesting that there's all these references with this one to the goddess of time, with the upside down Triforce, and then the Triforce in the middle, which you mentioned, which came from obviously there's Lowell's popular for having the official upside down Triforce, but I think the first one that we've seen was on Majora's Mask Stone Tower Temple.
Right.
And then but those were removed in the 3D.
In the 3DS, yeah. But
And
in the
then
OG,
they had the upside down Triforce on the pillars that were on your way. So the pillars that were on your way to the Stone Tower Temple, leading you there from Castletown, also had the upside down Triforce, and it was found throughout the temple as well, with like the weird tongue coming out and like licking the Triforce, which was really weird.
Weird designs, actually.
And then they removed them from Majora's Mask 3D, probably because they didn't want people thinking it had anything to do with lore, or they had an idea for like lore and stuff on like where it would go in the future, but then they changed the idea and went in a different direction, so that lore no longer made sense for it to have the upside down Triforce, since now they have it in A Link Between Worlds. So anyways, but Daniel or Rick, was there more stuff that you wanted to talk about with Calyrex?
Well, a couple interesting things to note about the Pokemon is the category for it is a king Pokemon. So if we're going to relate it to Zelda, the King of Hyrule, having the Triforce around its neck like that, also where these games are based off of also makes sense for this Pokemon and it being a king Pokemon. And it also states in its description that in ancient times it ruled all of Galar. So that could be a connection there too. One other thing I wanted to point out is that the Triforce symbol over in Japan is well known for the Hojo clan. And that's where it originated from like the Zelda thing. They got it from that. So it could be that as well. They're just trying to throw their little, touch.
What is the Hojo
Pokemon.
clan? Would you can you explain that? Do you have it up?
I have it up. I can't really explain it to a T because I'm not very versed in Japanese history. But the Hojo clan, it was a family who controlled the hereditary title of Shiken, regent of something, between 1203 and 1333.
Okay.
So they were a powerful family in Japan way back when, and the symbol still lives on there. You guys can anybody listening can easily look up Hojo clan and it will pop right up.
Yeah. Google that.
If you want to learn more about them, because the white and the blue also is part of their family symbol.
All right.
I think.
So it could have been a reference to that. But I think it's just odd that they showed it with all the Triforce stuff, and then it just looked very, very similar to that Zelda dungeon to me. But that's just me. The Snow Peak ruins.
I feel
but
like that's a
obviously
bit more
not
of a
in
stretch,
ruins.
but
Yeah,
Um,
because like any icy mountain with a mansion on it, like to me, I instantly just think, oh, cool. But having the two together, like that, just might be where you end up finding it in the game. But, yeah, as Daniel said, it could be a stretch. But to me, I'm thinking like, oh, it could be a reference because I'm always hopeful for Zelda stuff. But is there anything else that you would like to find on there that you thought was interesting, Rick? Or
Nope.
Daniel can move on to Urshifu?
Yeah.
Urshifu.
I feel like most likely, if there is a reference or whatever, it's probably at most a reference,
With this
probably
one?
coincidence.
Sorry,
But
can you say that
really,
again?
but-
You cut out. I'm sorry.
Oh, I say most. It's probably a reference. At least it's most likely, in my opinion, probably coincidence
For both of them
um,
or just this one?
for both. I feel
Okay.
like, but
Because this one
you know,
has the symbol, but it's also like in a fighting position, and the Gorons in Twilight Princess are known for like their test of strength and their type of fighting, which is the. It's
Yeah.
weird. Their type of fighting is the sumo wrestling, but when you actually fight against them, they just punch you.
they just.
They don't
Yeah.
push you off the mountain. They just roll at
Well,
you.
I think the
and
sumo thing is in Twilight Princess is more like a sport type thing,
Okay.
right?
yeah.
A
respectable
because they have like the
thing.
arena. Yeah, exactly, and they have the arena and everything like that. Whereas when you come in and they see you as an actual threat, yeah, they're just gonna punch you in the face. So,
Yeah.
Goron style. But yeah, Urshifu, he's a fighting type Pokemon. Depending on the way you evolve Cubfu into Urshifu, it can evolve to either fighting in dark type or fighting in water type, which I think is a weird set of options because they don't really reflect each other. Like if it was like fire and water or dark and I don't know, fairy type or something like that like seem like opposites, that I don't know, would seem more thematic. But I digress. I guess it's it what it is. I'm not a game designer.
We didn't
But
need
yes,
any
as
more
Jesse
dark
pointed out,
types.
sorry.
I said we didn't need any more dark types.
Yeah, there's that too.
Too many of them.
There's plenty enough.
Oh, does it show shiny forms of any?
I don't think so. We saw Galar Slowpoke, but they teased Slowbro, but we didn't actually get to see it. But yeah, I don't know. He's got what looks like the Goron crest. It could also like the Goron crest kind of looks like that sort of triangle design, but it also could just be coincidence because it does fit his overall aesthetic. If you look at him, like it's on his chest at the very end of the direct. I think Jesse's got it paused on it. He's got this white mark on it. And
I'm over. Oh, I see it.
yeah, but the thing
I
is, like,
see it in
the
the
rest
center.
of his design also has all of this like flaring sort of points that go off into the sides and upwards and stuff. So, like, most likely it's just a part of the design that wasn't meant to reflect it or not meant to reference it at all. It could just be coincidence. At most, it would be like just an Easter egg, like a wink and a nudge, but not.
That's what I think most of
meaningful
these
anyway, but-
were. But whenever I seen them, I thought it was just like a wink and a nudge, and just like a Zelda fan working on it, and then
Maybe, yeah.
But then like all of it together, and then like my brain.
I mean, at most,
just
I
clicking.
feel like the Snow Peak one is a stretch personally, but
Yeah.
This one would make more sense if the triangles were separated towards the top of it.
true. Yeah. as
Wait,
the Goron
what was it that
usually
you said,
is.
Daniel? The Zelda what was the stretch?
The Snow Peak Mansion thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, it's just most likely coincidence that it's like similar design. I don't
My
know.
heart. How dare you?
But I'm sorry.
No, this
But
is
yeah.
this is a good thing because like, so the way you were saying that and stuff, a lot of people on video, probably not in person because a lot of people are like afraid of stuff like that. But what I love is like the friendship and stuff that we all have towards like you know, you can joke around and not agree with someone
Mm-hmm.
and just like make a quick joke or a pun or whatever,
Sure.
and just like get a quick laugh at someone, and it'll be like, ah, you know, it's just part of the joke, making fun of someone. But it's all in like a friendly way. But in this case, where like you had a complete disagreement with me, where a lot of people would like just start being like, you know, thumping their fist on the table and be like, no, it is a reference to the Stone Tower Temple. Link is dead in Majora's Mask. Like they get so defensive about it. Like they're not open to the idea of, yeah, you're right. It's probably just like one of these three things, like the Goron ruby on the chest, the Triforce symbols around the neck, the Snow Peak Mountain thing. Like one of them might be a reference, especially with the Pokemon being a time-based Pokemon and having the symbol of Hylia. Like that is the closest thing that possibly could be a reference.
Right.
Because the other thing on the chest, almost like you could say that's just like an arrowhead as well.
Yeah. It just looks like fur to me, but
yeah.
I don't know.
But like, you know, there's a lot of people that would just like get upset and be like, no, you're right, I'm wrong, blah blah blah, and spend an hour trying to argue about it. But like the cool thing that I like about all of us is like we all get along, and it's like I'm saying to me, you know, that almost looks like it could be a reference, and you're like, no, I think like at most it could be a nod, if that, probably nothing at all. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, you're probably right.
But honestly, with Urshifu, what it reminds me of more, so especially with his Gigantamax things that showed like the red and blue,
the goat that Link wrangles up? Tingle?
No, this guy is Incineroar. Just the way his design is, it just the way the fur flares out and stuff.
I was gonna buy one of those, and they're both fighting
somewhat
type
similar
too. So it's like a dark fighting type, or what is it?
Yeah, well, his Gigantamax for when he's fighting in dark type has like the red lines and stuff on him, and it's, I don't know, it just reminded me of
He's
that.
a fighting dark and a fighting
it's probably
water.
just a coincidence because they have the same designers.
How's he a fighting water?
So that's what Urshifu can evolve into.
So maybe he's he's supposed to be like this generation's opposite of Incineroar, because he's fighting water.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I've been up for so long. You have no idea.
Jesse needs to sleep. Someone help him.
I gotta send a script to Ilya later to record audio for, so she can send it to you to edit, and that would be your first official video editing back on the channel.
Woo!
Top 5 Zelda theories.
First 2020 video.
Yeah.
Dope.
That's exciting. But is there anything else to finish this up?
That's all I've got. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts here, but
all right.
Not for this one, honestly.
Other
than the separation of the triangles, it possibly could be a reference to the Gorons, with them, like you were saying, the sumo thing earlier, with the symbol. But I would think it would, if it was separated, then I'd be like, yeah, for sure. But
right.
Yeah.
Because with me, like the one Pokemon, with it being like the king or whatever, and then having the Triforce symbol, and then having to do with time, like to me that seemed like it would be the most. But everyone in the comments, let us know this. I think this would actually be like a cool debate for people in the comments. As long as you're nice, don't be rude to people.
Yes,
please.
Don't be mean.
Like there's the top 5 worst Zelda theory video that I made. There's a lot of rude comments in it to me, which I don't care about. Like for every one negative comment I get, there's like hundreds of positive comments. So like that's what I pay attention to more, is like the people that message me on Twitter and stuff or Facebook, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're amazing, blah blah blah. And then I always have to include, like, hey, it's not me. You should check out Captain Bergerson and 𝐓𝐿𝐼𝐻 and all these other people and stuff, too. So, like, there's all these cool people that do that. So, be positive in the comments, even the live chat, which there's probably not too many of you now because we've been ranting for a while. But there's a lot of you at the start, so thank you for that. And thank you for everyone that's still watching. Rick, why don't you go ahead and let people know who you are, why that 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐚 thing has been there for like an hour. And again, people in the chat, please debate nicely about what's going on and everything. And yeah, so Rick, tell us about who you are, what we can expect, what your favorite flavor of milkshake is. You know, the usual stuff.
Milkshake is chocolate, of course. It has to be. And my name is Rick, otherwise known as 𝐼𝐧𝐬. You guys have seen my logo there, like Jesse said, for the past couple hours, probably. Well, everybody here on the stream. I am a fellow Zelda content creator, and I mainly stuff related to Breath of the Wild. Moving forward, we're going to dip into some other stuff. But yeah, you guys can find me over at 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐚 on YouTube and on Twitter, or just simply 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐿.
Okay, I was gonna say Daniel, but
Okay.
Rick, what is top 3 videos on your channel that you would love people to check out the most?
Top 3 videos. As of right now, one of my favorite one that I want you guys to go check out right now, it would probably be the Spirit of the Hero. I put a lot of work into that theory. After that would be the Kilton's Dark Secret. Go check that one out. And if you're really bored, go check out my Fantastic Armor and Where to Find It video, if you want to collect all the armor in Breath of the Wild.
All right.
Or if you just want to listen to me rant on for 20 or 30 minutes.
They're all good videos. I've watched all 3 of those. So.
Thank you.
They're all good.
All right, and Daniel, where can people find more stuff with you?
Yeah, so I'm Captain Bergerson, and that goes for Twitch and Twitter and Instagram, YouTube, all across the board.
Did you guys? I'm sorry. Did you guys see? I was trying to log into my Twitter. I got my password wrong like 10 times.
Oh, what did you do?
And
did you lock your Twitter?
No. I finally got into it, but then I realized, oh my gosh, can everyone see what I was typing on camera?
Nope.
But no, like they can't, so it's all good.
You're good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That was just like...
No, you're fine, yeah. But yeah, I stream on Twitch every Tuesday and Wednesday, and I usually do another additional like late night stream during the week, usually either Mondays or Fridays as well. Unless we're doing the podcast here on this channel, which I'm not going to do the late night stream on that day because I can't do 2 things at once. And yeah, so come tune into those. I guess if I had to recommend 3 videos, like Jesse's saying to do, my channel, I mean, they've got a whole playlist of good videos that I've actually put effort into. I guess I just uploaded one about Shovel Knight and about King of Cards the other day. Pretty happy with how that turned out. Otherwise, my sort of debunking videos, so the geography video and the problem with the literal legend timeline video, I'm pretty happy with how those turned out. They're kind of debunking dumb theories sort of videos. There's another one of that line of things that I'm gonna do soon. So
I bring up your that theory. No, it's not a theory. I bring up that video and the top 5 worst theory videos. I mention it and you as the reference. So I hope that drives more people to your channel to
I hope so.
see stuff.
That'd be nice.
And,
but yeah, no, it's
the Twitter accounts for everyone is in the chat. So if everyone can Danielle, that's the only one I see right now. Danielle, Jorge,
Cliff.
Yeah. So everyone, please go follow Daniel and Rick and me.
And Jesse. Follow Jesse.
Yeah.
Vote for Jesse.
Did you get your
2020.
3 videos?
Yeah, that was it. I guess that was my newest one on King of Cards, and then my geography video on why you shouldn't make your Zelda theories based on geography, and my literal legend video.
Was it a video you made a long time ago? The geography video?
Yeah, that was not too long ago. Maybe it was a couple months back now, actually.
Did it include the interview where they said that they switched?
That's like the first thing I bring up.
Because everyone was debating. Tell Rick about it really quick, because it's really funny. Like, everyone was debating that, like,
the switch between Kakariko Village and Korok Forest, and everybody was debating that the Great Plateau and Korok Forest had flipped, but it was actually Kakariko Village.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. That actually, no, that I didn't bring up in the video. This one actually focused more on how other people compare maps between games, basically, and try and make theories about it, about, like, there was an earthquake or the ground shook or whatever, tectonic plates and stuff. And I'm like, no, literally the game designers just said, like, they don't want it to be boring. Yeah. So they make things a little bit different. And then I go ahead and try and compare all the maps just to prove my point, and none of them line up naturally. So it's a fun, that one's a little more just for kicks, and it's a little bit more played for laughs than the literal legend one, which is just straight up like, this is why this theory makes no sense and is bad. So yeah, they're both good videos that I'm proud of, I guess. So
speaking of the Kakariko Village and Korok Forest thing, I'm actually working on something right now to kind of flip-flop the two. So we'll see if it works.
I'm curious about that.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be a little jank, but
I want to
work up a little bit.
That's fine.
I have a few videos, like an April Fool's idea video that I want to do, to where, like, making fun of the worst theories, like, to where, like, you know, that every link is related or every link is the same link, to where it's like every Epona is related. Or
oh no. I've already had an April Fool's video planned as well, actually.
I had an idea since I started YouTube. I wanted to do a video to where it's like 80% of it would be completely fact, like an actual documentary about, like, Aonuma or someone, or Miyamoto, probably Miyamoto because he's more famous. But like, it would start out like 100% fact, talking about his life and everything, like you would see from, like, Did You Know Gaming on their history stuff, or Gaming Historian and people like that.
Right.
Where, like, it's a very well made, documented, 100% accurate for, like, the first 5 minutes. And then like, it slowly starts adding in, like, just random things that you're like, oh, well, that's kind of odd. But then you're like, it was like 50 years ago or 20 years ago.
Right.
So it's like, you know, people used to be odd back then. Like,
no one is odd anymore, though.
Yeah, like, if you go back to the 70s or the 80s and you walked into, like, a Walmart or something, I don't know if Walmart was back then, but, like, if you walked into your local grocery store, like, 90% of the people that you met were probably, like, on some lucid LSD or cocaine or something like that, because that was, like, the normal thing back then.
Sure.
As normal as, like, vaping is now, like, that's what the thing was back in, like, the 70s and 80s and stuff, when, like, the hippie movement was, like, at its biggest. So it's like, instead of that, like, when you hear about, like, oh, a famous person, like, 30 years ago in the 80s used to have, like, a drug addiction or whatever, and it's like, yeah, like, who didn't have a drug addiction in the 80s that was a millionaire?
Right.
But something like that, but instead of it being bad, like, about drugs or something, just, like, have it be, like, really weird. And then just, like, whatever the tidbits or whatever are that I think of, or that other people think of, and help me out with it. The end conclusion is that Miyamoto is a vampire.
Right. Makes sense.
But it never comes out and says he is a vampire or anything. Like, it never even mentions the word vampire or sucks blood or anything like that. It just gives, like, clues and hints and stuff that, like, by the end of it, like, you're like, that was really weird. Why? What? But, like, 90% of it is true. Like, it talks about stuff that's, like, actually true. So you're just like...
The running joke is that he could be a vampire for the Zelda team. Sucking their creativity right out of them.
I was like,
no, you can't do that.
That's why they had to recently hire all the new people.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Because I know that's like the running joke is that he's, you know, kind of past his prime.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that there. The creative filter.
More of a roadblock for them than anything else.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Because, like, a lot of the new people...
Sword, I think, was a huge example of that. Like, where he went and changed a bunch of stuff.
Well, he always did that.
Well, yeah, but just stuff that 𝐴𝐽𝐻𝐼, I think, wanted certain ways. And he was just like, no, we're going to do it like this.
Yeah, they had to fight to the death. Which is why he's a vampire. Because, like, 𝐴𝐽𝐻𝐼 fought to the death with Miyamoto. 𝐴𝐽𝐻𝐼, being the younger man, killed Miyamoto, but you can't kill a vampire, so like...
Oh, no.
But he gained enough respect from Miyamoto that he was allowed to make A Link Between Worlds. Because, like, actually, we should make a video about that.
Okay.
About Miyamoto, because, like, Miyamoto didn't want 𝐴𝐽𝐻𝐼 making Majora's Mask. He wanted to move on to the GameCube and not necessarily make Wind Waker, but I guess whatever that tech demo would have ended up being. Because the whole reason they went with the cartoon style was because they were tired of the Ocarina of Time art style.
Right.
And they wouldn't have been tired of the Ocarina of Time art style if they wouldn't have made Majora's Mask.
I guess.
I was reading something in the back of Arts and Artifacts last night. The reason they did that, the tech demo, like, made them, well, at least for the art guys, it made them realize that that wasn't the direction they wanted to go from their little excerpt that they had put in there.
Makes sense.
And then...
Yeah.
It looks kind of weird.
Too much realism at the time, I guess, is what they thought.
Yeah.
There was too much realism being put out there. So then they were like, okay, let's do the cartoony thing. And then it flipped script when Wind Waker came out. Yeah. Everybody got this.
And then, so, like, he didn't want to do Majora's Mask. And he had the thing with 𝐴𝐽𝐻𝐼 where he was like, sure, if you can do it in a year, you can do it. Whatever. But then we have to do the GameCube thing. And then they ended up rushing that to get Wind Waker out. And then they had 𝐴𝐽𝐻𝐼 wanted to make a brand new game on the 3DS. Like a brand new Zelda game. And Miyamoto wanted to make a remake of A Link to the Past. And they ended up compromising to where it was like, I call it a reimagining instead of a remake.
Right.
But like,
or Link Between Worlds, yeah.
Yeah. What I don't even know. What do you, like, to you? What do you call it? Like, do you look at it as more of a sequel, a remake, a reimagining, like, obviously it's a sequel. It began as a remake.
I mean, it's officially a sequel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's.
But how do you view it? How do you look at it?
I would say it's enough. There's enough that's different in it to call it a sequel. Because I think if they had left as many things unchanged as they had, that it would be more of a reimagining. But the whole wall merging mechanic and the dungeons are pretty different. There's like, okay, there's some dungeons that even though they kind of repeat, like the Palace of, or the Eastern Palace and the Tower of Hera and the Desert
I think those
Palace,
were on purpose,
like,
though.
Yeah, and those are all like familiar dungeons we've seen before, but even though they're like the same dungeon again, their interiors are completely different. So I feel like enough is different that, like, I'm okay just calling it a sequel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. I mean, it's the best of both, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really.
Can you think of any other roadblocks that Miyamoto wanted? Like, was it so Miyamoto?
Mm.
He kind of took a back step after Ocarina and let Aonuma be in charge. But there was a big interview, which I actually bring up in one of my latest videos, where Miyamoto came back to be the director or like behind the scenes of Skyward Sword, specifically because it was the 25th anniversary, and he wanted to he wanted to be a part of it because it was the 25th anniversary.
Mhm.
So I wonder if there was I wonder if he was the one that was like, no Hyrule Field, or
I don't know.
I don't know who that was, but yeah, there was a term that they coined called upending the tea table, where they talk about it a lot in the Iwata Asked, where Miyamoto would come into a room and he would be like, hey, do you think we could do this, like, in, for example, Twilight Princess, do you think we could put Ordon Village from the top right corner of the map to the very bottom of the map? That way Hyrule sits above Ordon Village, and then the developer would be like, well, we could, but that would mess up this whole side quest here, and the way we have everything laid out, we would have to go and fix stuff in Zora's Domain and all this stuff. And then Miyamoto would be like, okay, that's fine. And then he would go back, and then a week later he would come back with the same thing and be like, hey, do you remember when I asked you if we could just do this? Could we just go ahead and do that?
Mhm.
And then it got to a point to where all of the developers, instead of just saying no, or being like, that'll take too much time, that'll make us, like, that'll get the game delayed, it got to a point to where they would all just say yes, because they knew if they said no, he would keep asking until they did say yes.
Mhm.
And with him being the boss, he could make them do it anyways. So they all just ended up saying yes, even though it would cause delays. But in the end, I think it worked out for the best because all the games are really good.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
Most definitely. I know there was like we were saying, the big thing with Skyward Sword because of the significance of the release and everything.
Mhm.
But now, way less than ever before. He's taken a huge backseat, and then now even Aonuma is kind of like, like, I'm here, but
he's making those Lobo games.
the
Labo, yeah. Lobo's from DC. He's like
Different. Very different.
he's the Deadpool alien bounty hunter from DC.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining. I didn't mean to take up too much of your time, Daniel. When I said join, I thought we were going to be like 15 minutes, but it ended up being a couple hours. Did you have
Like an
anything
hour,
to do
yeah.
today? Are you doing a
Couple
live stream
things,
of your
but-
own?
No, I'm not gonna stream today, but I might do. There's a couple things I might do. I might
Um,
work out. I might crank out a video just talking about the direct real quick, just some like rando thoughts or whatever. But
Cool. You
nothing,
should,
nothing.
in your
crazy.
video, would you kindly mention that we went into discussion on this thing?
Oh, I will. Oh, I will.
All right.
Pew.
I'll probably edit this up and like put it out in segments too, since it went on for hours.
For sure.
But I really appreciate you guys. Like I was super excited when they announced this because it was so much stuff. Like I remember at E3 walking around, we were like, I forgot who I was talking to because we talked to so many different people. But I was like, wouldn't it be cool if they did DLC for for Pokemon, like actual DLC, to where it's not just like, here's new gyms or whatever, like whatever DLC. Like if they're
Right.
just like, here's an entirely new area for you to explore. I thought it would be like Kanto or something, which I think more people would actually end up buying if they included Kanto, because they already have it made. Like it's literally already made in the same engine. They could just port it over, and it wouldn't like it would. They like.
I think we talked about that, but I'm like good without going back to Kanto again.
Yeah, new areas are better.
Yeah. So.
But anyways, we already talked about how, like we said our goodbyes. Like you talked about your 3 favorite things people can check out on your channel. Rick said 3 things he could check out on his. So go ahead and say your farewells. Start with you, Rick.
Bye, everybody. It was nice talking today.
Yeah. Daniel.
Okay. Goodbye. I'll miss you.
ASMR, Daniel.
Thank you, Cliff, and the gamer musician, which I think is one of Rick's peeps.
Mm-hmm.
Did we meet him at the first E3? Was he the one that showed up?
Mm-mm. No, that was Jared.
Okay. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, gamer musician. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Jorge. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Tonto. Thank you, Geek Apprentice. That's all the people that I can see scrolling up for a while. So thank you, everyone. We love you all. Your support is amazing. Even though there's 7 of you watching us for no reason.
Yep.
Get a life.
No.
Please don't. We'll have nobody to watch.
No, but seriously, comment. Let me know if you like this idea better of stuff being in the background. Or if you just like the blue and black thing that's like this over here.
Your foamy pads?
Yeah. And if
that's
someone...
so much better than what I have. I have a couch cushion behind me here for... it's not... It's very janky.
If anyone can let me know how to work... This is my phone charger that I just set my phone on. And like I can figure that out.
Put your phone in the microwave; it'll charge.
But like I don't know how to. Like I don't know how to do this. Like where do you even put the games?
He's
like,
got to put.
There's no. Where do you? There's no.
Help him, guys.
There's no buttons to open. Like on like a PlayStation, when you press the button, and like the tray comes out and you put the game in.
Yeah.
Or like an Xbox.
Yeah. You just have to pray to the machine that it will play the right game. But usually it chooses the game for you. And just plays it on its own.
Like you know what you need to do, Jesse? You need to get a PS2 game.
Like
and you need to take a pair of scissors and cut it to fit inside of the GameCube.
Like I've been working.
Stop! You're gonna break it!
No! Stop, GameCube!
Like I've been...
It doesn't deserve this.
I'm shielding my GameCube's eyes. This is horrible.
I've been trying to fix it, but like
GameCube abuse.
This all hurt.
Well, like this is just stuff built in the 90s just aren't that great.
Wow. Rude. I'm leaving now.
I can see why Xbox like with the I can see why Sega folded after the GameCube because like after they released that
Sega's final console.
Yeah, like you can't even open it.
The GameCube.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, goodbye everybody.
All right. I love you guys. Thank you, Rick, for joining. Thank you, Daniel, for joining. You guys are truly wonderful friends, and I thank you for your friendship.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom now. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.